Good evening, one and all. It's Friday. That, of course, means it's time for a bit of variety, and today's variety, as voted once again, is actually a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons creations. Hello there, one and all. How are we doing today? My God, there's a few of you, in fact, here right now. Hello. Got a cup with the immediate hydrate. Sure, why not? Cheers. Hello there, Vlad. Hello, Cosmo. Hello, Arthur Benjamin. Hello, Ladybug. Hello, Cal. Is that Caleb? Caleb, yeah. Hello, the one hit. Hello, Gorilla. Hello, Ladybug. Hello, Witherfang. Hello there, everyone. I think I've missed a couple names in there. If I have, I do apologise. There is a lot of messages straight away. Normally get this kind of thing on an actual Warframe stream. So Warframe D&D, well, there we go. Clearly it's something you guys are all absolutely looking forward to. And you know what? So am I. I have been enjoying putting these together. And yeah, let's make some more of this, shall we? Let's make some more of this. Just as a quick refresh. Yep, you're in a new place, Cosmo. I decided, you know, you'd be better just on the side where you're like, that side? That side? I forget. What way am I looking on my screen here? That side, yeah, you're there. I have to remember, left is that way on the screen. I will never get used to that. Never. I might have to put up a sticky note on my camera pointing to which side of the screen. That might be even more confusing. But yes, I figured the chat will be blocking less stuff down there. So yeah. Kind of want us to switch over to some rock. Ah, okay. All right, we will can the lo-fi immediately. Let me bring up the rock. And seeing it's my choice, I'm going to pick the instrumental just because, you know, I'm the one talking. Not the songs. Let me just make sure that doesn't get too loud. There we are. Alright, cool. That'll burst into some rockier stuff shortly. So yes, as a quick recap, for those of you who have missed the details so far, or just want to remind yourselves where we're at. We've got Warframes of Excalibur so far, and you might notice this is different from the end of last streams. I have prettied it up a little bit more, so we have got actual image of Excalibur there, Excalibur Adept in the document itself. We got the Excalibur Adept, Master, and the Primal put together there. Nice and dangerous. And then following on from that as well, in between streams, I have added in Mag. So we've got a Mag Initiate, Mag Adept, Mag Master, with, of course, a capturer piece thrown in there as well, going for the full detail of working it around the text. Yeah, just make it feel nice and professional, as you do. And then, of course, a big stat block here for Mag Prime. So, you know, this means business, this one right here. Mag Prime with the spells, the actions, and a bonus action to throw in there as well. I haven't given bonus actions to Excalibur. I haven't gone back on that because Excalibur has a couple bonus actions built in already. I feel Excalibur, it's just more dangerous as just straight up his actions burn through stuff, and bonuses are just kind of thrown in around there. But for Mag, it was necessary to kind of balance out the kit because I want Mag's casting, the big cast, to more focus on different ways of fighting as well. So we got, for example, Magnetize as an action. I wanted Mag to still be able to do something. So that's why I've got a bonus action on Mag, but not a bonus action attack on Excalibur, despite its attack speed. It does make sense for the balancing, trust me. Per Phantom, cheers on that. You can almost feel the pain of having all your armor raised by Mag. Mag doesn't have much of armor reduction without augments. I haven't gone the full hog on that. But Mag does have polarize. So Mag creates a wave of electrical energy, sundering the armor of its enemies. On a failure, the creature takes force damage. If the creature is wearing armor or has a natural armor trait, the damage increases and the creature's armor is cursed, reducing its AC by 2. I go specifically for a curse with that. I think I'll be going for curses for permanent reductions, rather than just spell effects for the semi-permanents or temporary ones. Permanent reductions and treating as curses. But this one, because it's only meant to be a minor reduction, it's a curse which you can remove with a suitable check during a 1 hour action. So during a short rest, everyone else is resting, you're too busy scrubbing the curse off of your armor, one way or the other. And against a high level mag, that's a DC 19 Arcana check. So yeah. Want to kill saying, I want to get into D&D. Any suggestions on stuff? Yeah, absolutely. So, couple things if you want to get into D&D. First things first is that you'll want to pick up the basic rules. You can get the basic rules completely for free from Wizards of the Coast, the makers of Dungeons & Dragons themselves. You'll probably just have to Google Basic rules, 5th edition. 5th edition is the most widespread Dungeons & Dragons at this time. I think they're in the process of transitioning over to something called 1D&D, which is basically 5th edition, but they changed the name. So, 5th edition is the one. In terms of finding a group, find your friends, bring them together, find a time together, start together. You don't want to just be all plopping in and then trying to figure out what you're doing. So come together, work on it together. Alternatively, you can find online groups as well through subreddits and whatnot. Plenty of ways to find people with similar interest online. Ultimately, friends are the best. The best groups I have ever been in have been with my friends, and yeah, you just take it from there. Work your way through the rules. Can't think of any 5th edition video games though. 5th edition video game. Well, I don't know about 5th edition specifically. If you want to get an idea as to a video game for Dungeons & Dragons, Divinity Original Sin 1 and 2 is where I'd say to check it out. That gives you an idea as to turn-based party mechanics, as well as having some comprehensive gameplay and storyline behind them as well, not just being, you know, a teaching tool. The Divinity Original Sin can give you a good idea as to the kind of shenanigans you can get up to in D&D. Although, of course, video games are constrained by the fact that you can only code so much. D&D, you can do literally anything. It's group storytelling with rules thrown in. But yeah. Mag vs. Warforged is cruel. That's, yeah. I mean, anything with armor, really. Anything with armor. The thing is this can't stack, because magical effects can't stack on themselves. The AC is going to just be down by 2. Polarize isn't a heavy hit, but it is still a hit. 2 armor lower is quite significant, because that's 10 percentage point increase in the rate at which things can hit you. And for things with high armor, that matters a lot more than things with low armor. Vlad saying, not any advice on getting said friends to play with? Meet people. Or things like that. I don't know. I'll get back to you on that when I have more than the average number of friends, you know. Until such time, maybe I'm not the right person to ask on that. I'm a content creator. What do I know about making friends? We're all shut-ins, half of us. Anyway, yeah, D&D, typical number of people will be 5, so you got 1 as a Dungeon Master and then 4 players. I say players, the Dungeon Master is also a player. It's just you're not a player character, you are everything but player characters. But the Dungeon Master is still a player. It's not players versus Dungeon Master, it's everyone together. Everyone together. Always bear that in mind. Anyway, we're going to get cracking in on making these. The final page that you got down here is just the T's and C's, the rolls off the bits end. But today, if I just do a page, this is going to be Vault section. Yes! And that is not how you start a section, of course. We need to start a section correctly, which is with, it's ##. That's how I create a proper starting section. So let's do that. So, Vault. How are we going to describe Vault? As you can see, the kind of descriptions come from Mag. The Mag Warframe manipulates magical energies to sunder armor and crush metal. Its control of physical forces can redirect projectiles while enhancing its own defenses. Be wary when using a bow around Mag. So let's give that kind of blurb to Vault as well. The Vault Warframe is a master of electricity and speed. It's quite shocking. No, come on now. Come on. We want people to enjoy this document. By putting a pun in the very first line of a Warframe's description is just killing it. Yeah, Vault Warframe is a master of electricity and speed. Excuse me. Let's see, what kind of vagary warnings would we go for there? Vault's spells have the ability to stun. Yeah, stun his enemies. Oh, stun its enemies. Remember from last time, I'm disgendering everything. Vault's spells have the ability to stun its enemies. And block attacks with its electric shield. Getting close to a vault, to a vault capital, vault, will be no easy task neither. I think that's a good 4-line summary to get us into the idea of it. Let's do a vault. Vault Warframe is a master of electricity and speed. Vault spells have the ability to stun its enemies and block attacks with electric shield. Getting close to a vault will be no easy task neither. Cheers, Cosmo. What does hydrate do? That's what it does. Hydrate makes me hydrate. Fun fact with the channel point options, if you click on one, it'll tell you what it does. Hydrate says, remind me to keep hydrated. And don't be slacking yourself neither. That's basically what it does. Keeps me drinking, because I'm going to keep talking. Since I clearly know D&D, do I perhaps also play Magic the Gathering? No. I've played like 4-5 games maybe of Magic the Gathering, most of which at some LAN party. The guy was really insistent on trying to get everyone to play it. Most people were telling him no. I'll give it a try. He was not gentle. And I think I once played one game of it with my ex, who then realised very quickly, actually, you know what, this is a terrible thing we're doing on an early date. Let's do something more interesting. I'm glad he came to that conclusion. Because, yeah, I knew basically nothing about the game, so it wasn't fun. But it's fine. Paralyzed or blinded could also probably work as status. So the status I'm actually thinking of here, as much as I've used stunned, I don't really like stuns as a status in D&D, certainly in the early game, because you haven't really got a lot you can do about it. When you think of how combats go, anyone who's familiar with how combats go in Dungeons & Dragons, if you're stunned, you basically just lose a turn. So you've waited, from your last turn, you've waited 10 minutes, it's got to a monster, the monster stuns you, 5 more minutes pass, comes to your turn, you go, well, I can't. The DM goes, yep, yeah. Make you save, alright, and then you move on. It's going to be yet another 15 minutes until you actually have a turn. Who wants to sit there for half an hour going... Alright. So I prefer reduction of actions, or making it where actions are less likely to succeed, so you can still try to do things. It's just those things that you're doing are less effective, rather than full-out stuns. Full stuns I reserve for higher level stuff, where you're meant to try and protect against it. You're meant to go, right, look, we've got the tools to handle the nasty nasties, so now let's handle the nasty nasties, or they're going to rip our faces off. Basically speaking. But stuns early game, stuns at a lower level, even with the electric procs and how shock is a stunning ability, that's just rough. Debuff instead of stun? Exactly, yeah, debuffs. Debuffs are a good idea. So, let's build our vault, and the way to do this is I'm actually going to copy up the Mag Initiate, just give me the fundamental tools, but then we'll change it into vault stuff. So, let me grab the Mag Initiate. This helps make sure I get all of the different bits of formatting in. Let's bring that down. And as you can see, I'm doing this in 4 tiers. So we got Mag Initiate is Challenge 2, we got Challenge 7, Challenge 12, and Challenge 18 from Mag all the way up to Mag Prime. And I'm doing the same with every single Warframe, so that you've got Warframes you can drop in at pretty much every tier of play. So, with the Mag Initiate, let's change that to obviously be a Vault Initiate. Let's start working our way through this. The main tagline here, medium monstrosity, neutral evil, that's still the same. Medium meaning it's roughly humanoid size. Monstrosity speaks for itself. It's not a humanoid, it's not a construct, it is a monstrosity. Look what the hell happened to it. And neutral evil, it's alignment, because that's how I've set them up for Warframe purposes. Sorry, for D&D purposes. As I'm saying, there's a reason players have a lot more stuns than monsters tend to have. Yeah, in pretty much every game. Like, look how much we complain about knockdowns in Warframe, which is a kind of stun, because it stops you from doing anything other than waiting for the opportunity to get back up again. And players hate knockdowns. So, take that from a game where you get knocked down and can't do stuff for a few seconds to you get knocked down effectively and can't do stuff for 30 minutes. That's painful. Right, with Vault, I'm going to keep this similar kind of approach to Mag in being very caster focused, which means I want the armor class and hit points to be lower than typical for their level, but I want the spells to be more ruthless, and the physical attacks to be kind of middle ground. With Vault Speed, I'm going to focus Volt on being more of a ranged character. Give them the speed. Again, I'm going to keep their health low. So they're going to be very much a, an artillery type character, I think 4th edition called them. Artillery type. Neutral Evil's kind of default for Murder Hobo Looters. Yeah, Murder Hobo Looters, that's what they are. Glass Cannon? Not exactly Glass Cannon. This is still a monster at the end of the day. I don't want it to just kind of fall over when someone breathes in its direction. But yeah. Maybe the speed is a self buff? Oh no. Speed is definitely going to apply to allies. So that Volt with allies just becomes even more dangerous. That's the whole point of speed ability in Warframe, is that it buffs your allies too, and I'm definitely bringing that to Volt. Let's work through this bit by bit. The Initiate only gets access to the first ability, Pull in Mag's case, but this is Volt, so that's going to be obviously Shock. Let's take out all of this. Now, I want to work through these. So, the armor class and hit points, I can pretty much leave those as is. Those should work just fine. How many spells per Warframe? So, Warframes have 4 abilities, Karokop. Unless they have more abilities, I'll get to that when I get to things like Equinox. But yeah, most Warframes have 4 abilities, and so the Initiate gets their 1, the Adept gets their 1 and 2, the Master gets their 1, 2, and 3, and the Prime gets the 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's the way I'm scaling it, so that then the monster stat blocks stay small for the lower level ones, they build up for the bigger ones, and I can kind of go crazy with the higher end abilities, make them feel absurdly powerful without having to try and figure out how to make them not powerful for the lower level ones. The other thing I'm doing is I'm custom making all of their spells rather than just copy pasting in a spell from the rulebook, say like Haste, because it's meant to be different. All those coffee cups on people's names, so that is the subscriber badge. So if you mouse over it, you should be able to see, if you're on PC, if you have a mouse, you'll be able to see how many months they've been subscribed and what badge they've got. That's what the teacups are. Abilities without augments, in most cases. I gave the augment to Excalibur's 4th because it kind of needs it. Excalibur's 4th otherwise is just sword. So I gave it more to enhance it there. But mostly I'm avoiding the augments because, again, we don't want to overwhelm the Dungeon Master in playing these characters because they're going to have a lot to handle already. So, let's work our way through this. As I say, keeping all the stats there similar to Mag's. However, Volt is meant to be speedy, so I'm going to buff up his speed straight away to 35 feet. With all of this as well, the stats across the board there are probably good to leave as is. What I will do, actually, I'm going to drop his Constitution down. Let me think about this. Yeah, drop his Constitution down, and instead I'm going to give that to him in Strength. To make the idea of, to his speed, speed is derived from athletics. Athletics and speed kind of come together. Athletic jumping, give him that bit more strength. It also means he'll be able to go further with general jumps. So, let's bring the Constitution down, make him slightly weaker still than Mag. Bring the strength up instead, and that still gives us the same amount of positives and negatives across the board compared to all the others, but moves it away from the health pool there. As a result, this would go down, so I'll need to change the mathematics here. If I change that to 10d8, and that's going to be 0, so just 10d8. Let me think. So that would go down by 9, then up by 5. Yeah, but 45, wouldn't it? Yeah, that'll be 45. That works. Just slightly weaker, ever slightly, but it still works out. Got dev stream up on the other screen, dividing opinions incoming. I'm not going to focus on the dev stream right now. I'm going to look at all the dev stream details after the fact. Yeah. 1-hit kill? Cheers. Will we be including Volt's passive? Yes, I do intend to do that, actually, yeah. I'll be working that into this. Let's go through the other bits and pieces here. Now, I've got Arcana and Stealth on Mag. For Volt, I'm actually going to make it... rather than Stealth, I'm going to give him Athletics. To go in with the idea of being stronger and speedier, Athletics for that movement speed. And I'll figure out the positives in a moment. In fact, I can figure that out right now. His Athletics going to be +3. Usually speaking, stats like these skills don't really matter, but we can include them. put it on the wrong side. Of course, after AT comes after AR. There we are. Keep it alphabetical. That's all still correct. That's all still correct. Chance rating 2. We'll figure out the chance rate. I'm going to start with the idea of 2, but I can probably take it higher. We'll figure on that. We'll figure on that. Alright, Rough Boy, you take care. Good luck on the projects. So, bullet jump. Once per turn, mag, that is now vault. May turn a jump into a bullet jump, jumping as if it had run up, and able to cover twice the distance. That vertical is not 6 foot, that is now 8 foot. Vertical is 3 plus their strength modifier, vaults is 4, and then we're doubling it to 8. The horizontal is equal to their strength score, which on mag was 10, on vault it's 12. We double that, 24 for horizontal. There we are, that's that done. Innate spellcasting. The vault's innate spellcasting ability is intelligence. I'm doing that for all Warframes. Spell save DC is 12. Yep, that's going to remain the same. And it can innately cast the following spell, which is Shock at 2nd level. So let's write in Shock now. How does one get bits? You get bits by purchasing them. So bits are Twitch's way of tipping a streamer without having to tip it all in one go. Instead, you kind of purchase a tip and Twitch takes its cut at that point there, and then you can give the tip either in one go or in bits and pieces. So if you wanted to, say, tip a total of $5, you could then give one of those dollars to me and one of those dollars to a Dunfer streamer, and then you'd go, actually, wait, what am I doing? You give the other 3 to Ken, because, you know, you love the stream. But yeah, it allows you to do it piecemeal or all in one go, all the same. And it interacts with Twitch's system as well, because if you give, I think it is 1,000 bits, you also unlock an additional emote here on the channel. And 5,000 gives you another emote on the channel. Maybe you give all the bits to Ken? I mean, yeah, absolutely, go for it. Why wouldn't you? You know, if you really appreciate the stream, why wouldn't you do it? Quintus at the moment is being completely uncontested on the bits leaderboard, and I bet he's loving that. Right, so, Shock. Now, how have I done the formatting here? It has been a few days since I looked at this, so, yeah, bracket spell and that. So I'm going to make Shock an action. Because it's going to be quite a capable thing, I'm going to make this one a spell 1 action. Spell should be capitalized. 1 action. Do I capitalize action? Yes, I capitalize action as well. Again, keeping the formatting good. Hello, Andrew. I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well yourself. So, Gino, how did you land at spells being per rest versus roll d6 to recharge? Just easy for use on the DM side? Not so much easy for use on the DM side. I want it to be a little bit more controlled in terms of the power. I'm focusing on spells being spells when it's more a caster kind of thing. Recharge I see more as a feat kind of thing, something where similar to how martials can just kind of keep on going, but wizards, sorcerers, bards, they burn through spell slots and they run down in power through a fight. So I've done it with Excalibur, where you see here Excalibur's slash dash is actually a recharge. It's 4 to 6 on the high level ones, but it's 5 to 6 on the mid level, and it's only recharge 6 on the low level. So the idea there is that Excalibur can keep on doing this feat, this maneuver, because it's a very physical thing, it's a martial thing, whereas the other stuff that Excalibur can do, so Radial Blind, Radial Javelin, those are spells, because they go far beyond normal martial limits, so they are magical things. And the other thing with it being spells is that spells can be counterspelled, spells are blocked in an anti-magic field, whereas Slash Dash, being just a straight action, that one cannot be blocked by counterspell or dispel magic or anything like that. So that one is something Excalibur can do even when you're trying to lock down magical abilities. So that's the distinction I'm making there. Martial versus caster type actions they can take. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so Shock, spell, 1 action. Vault hurls an electric orb at a nearby Yeah, creature or surface. Yep, because he just kind of goes bzz. What has electric orb at a nearby creature or surface? No, I'm going to say that's a... I'm not going to say nearby. I can put the actual information right here. So at a creature or surface within 120 feet. Now I'm going for a long range on this one. Mag stuff has been kind of focused on 30 to 60 feet. Excalibur is, again, same kind of range. Volt, I'm giving him more because artillery. I want him to have that extra power behind him. Now, do I know what spell-like abilities are the true BS in D&D lies? Yeah, that's one thing I never liked going through a lot of the monsters, certainly a lot of the newest monsters added into 5e, is the way they have spells which are features rather than being actual spells. It's like, can we counterspell this or not? I'm codifying that. Yes, it makes it a bit more clunky to look at, but it's codified so the DM knows if a player tries to do X, the answer is Y. Simple. That's saying, how about Volt can use metallic objects to extend range of attack and reflect the electricity from metallic surfaces. A crucial bit of D&D monsters is you don't overcomplicate them too much in their design, Vlad. So Shock is already going to have a range to it, an AoE around where it hits. That's what I'm going to be adding in. It's going to deal damage, and it's also going to debuff the creatures that it hits. To add in riders like extended range over over metallic surfaces starts to really add clunk to it. You got to remember this is a tabletop game, not a video game, so the DM has to actually process everything we throw in here. Definitely for a lower level creature, I don't want to overcomplicate it. The higher level spells are where I can add in more complications. A Volt has electric orb and a creature or surface within 120 feet. Creatures hostile to Volt within 10 feet of the target must make a, let's say, yeah, that would be dexterity. Dexterity saving throw. Brackets DC. The DC on this is 12, which is low. It's low, it's manageable, but it can still hit people who, at this level, frequently enough to at least be a concern. Yeah, don't worry about it, Vlad. Whenever I'm giving feedback on your guys' suggestions, I'm not attacking you. I'm not telling you you're wrong, shut up, sit down, be miserable, anything like that. I don't want to know. I'm not doing that. But instead, it's more, I've got years of experience in not just playing Dungeons & Dragons, but running Dungeons & Dragons. I've almost always done homebrewed settings and massaged them around players, seeing what different players enjoy, different play styles, and also understanding what it takes to run a session. Some things have completely overwhelmed me, others have been smooth sailing, and it's understanding what's come into that. So I'm sharing that with you guys. If I do turn down an idea, it's because I feel that it wouldn't fit into the scenario I'm trying to create, but I still welcome your ideas because that's not always going to be the case. That's not always going to be the case. Atari Links, love your YouTube videos, man. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Atari. I really appreciate that. Welcome into the Twitch channel, by the way. Welcome in. Caleb has found every single emote on Twitch. Fair enough. The DM is a computer. The DM is not a computer. DMs are players too. Gotta remember that. Alright, all creatures must make a dexterity saving throw, and I put the DC in the spell. Even though it's just a line or two down, I still put it in the spell so that the DM can just read it off. So many times you have to reference another thing, to reference another thing, to reference it. Make it easy for your Dungeon Masters, come on. Make it easy for them. So, dexterity saving throw, DC 12. On a failed save, the creature takes... let's go with... Let's make this swingy. Let's make this swingy. How's 1d12 sound? Let me just bring up the superpower tool I have. Where did I put that? Again, I've forgotten to open up a tool before I've started the stream. It is in my GM files if they want to open. There we are. So I've been using this thing here. This is helping on getting the idea for the different stats. This is from blogofholding.com. Very good website. And we're aiming at roughly this level at the moment, but as artillery, I actually want the damage to be slightly higher. So I want to be aiming for around about a 20 for damage per turn. But then for stuff like shock here, which is limited use, I actually want that to be higher in total output. I want that to be doing about 40 damage across 2 creatures. So that'd be 20 each, assuming it hits. So if I go for 3d10 too much? I think, because it's also got a rider on it, I think 3d10 should be fine. That should be nice and terrifying. Zon, cheers. Alright then. Let's, creature takes 3d10, which is, oops, that is 11 plus 5, so that's 16. Average of 16. So 16 or 3d10 lightning damage. Because it's lightning in D&D rather than electric. Yo, Mimara saying, hello Kenjinir, thank you for your Warframe videos. Love the Archon one-shot build with Mimara, much love. It is a wonderful build to use. I use that basically every single Archon hunt. I'm glad you enjoy it too, Mimara. Welcome to Twitch channel. Oh. Feel like the ultra swingy lightning damage throwback to Diablo 2. Never played it, sorry. Never played it. Alright, so we're going with this here. 3d10, because it's only 3 dice, it's going to be somewhat swingy. As opposed to if I did say 66 or something like that. For those who are unfamiliar with the notation here, 3d6 is saying, let me just scroll a bit. 3d10 is saying roll a 10-sided die 3 times, add up the result. The average of which is 16.5, which we round to just 16. So 3d10 lightning damage, not full stop, and how am I going to phrase this? I want them to, let's go with they can't move. Yeah. Rather than choosing between stuff, I'm just going to say, and their speed is set to 0. So that's kind of the soft stun. They can't leave their position, but they can still do stuff from that position. So an artillery type character like Volt, locking down things which are trying to approach him, I think works out. So, on a failed save, the creature takes such and such damage, and their speed is and its speed is reduced to 0. Do I do that? No. And it cannot move. No. Yeah, and it cannot. No, and its speed is 0 until the start of Volt's next turn. On a successful save, the creature takes half damage. I think I can just put only. The creature takes half damage only, meaning you don't have the speed debuff. Is that clear enough? Creature speed is reduced to 0 until Volt's next turn. Yeah. And its speed is reduced to 0 until... And you always put the start of, because you want to specify start and end of turns. You do want to make that clear. But yeah, until the start of Volt's next turn. Takes half damage, does not suffer the speed reduction. Does not suffer the speed reduction. Feels a bit clunky. Yeah. Creature takes half damage. And its speed is unaffected. What's damage on a successful save? Half of 16, so it's half of whatever's rolled. The DM can choose to use the average to just quickly handle things. Say if the fight is dragging on a bit, or if they just want a quick encounter, they can use the average damage. So they'd say, rather than rolling out 3 dice, they just say, oh, you take 16, you take 16, you save, so you only take half, which is 8. That's how they do it. So yeah, the successful save is half of the failed save damage. Jason is saying it is, but it removes roll lows. When we try to claim it still reduces speed. It doesn't indicate either way in the current text. Yeah. On a successful save, the creature takes half damage. And its speed is unaffected. I'll just go with that. There's been no change. I'm not referring to any other possible thing, it's just and its speed is unaffected. No change in that. What is a raid on Twitch? A raid is where a stream ends and it sends the viewers over to another stream. Arthur Benjamin talked about catapult roars or deals full damage. Fair enough. I've got some abilities on other abilities. Sorry, some setups on the other frames here where they deal no damage on a successful save. Sometimes that's a thing, but for this one I'm going for the half on a successful save. Firstly, it adds in still some damage for Vault to deal. Secondly, there are certain character traits which allow them to evade the damage, which they would have got on a successful save. So that allows those character abilities to also come into play. I think those ones only apply on dexterity save, so that's why I'm doing that on the dex save one. Usually though, spells are either all or nothing if they are targeting, say for example, intelligence. In this case, we're doing a little bit of the extra damage, even if they get a save. So you need a special character ability to get around that. But let's see, is this a finished spell? Vault hurls an electric orb at a creature on a surface within 120 feet. Creatures hostile to Vault within 10 feet of the target must make a dexterity saving throw. On a fail, they take damage and no speed until Vault's next turn. On success, creature takes half damage, speed unaffected. Yeah, that's a completed spell. Perfect. Innate spellcasting, Vault was innate spellcasting, DC this. Cast following spell, shock, second level. The second level is important as well, because that interacts with abilities which identify spells based on level, and things like counterspell. So if you counterspell at a basic level, you'll have to cast it at third level or higher, it will always counterspell shock. But say if we compare to here for the mag, their pull ability is all the way up to 5th level here, so you need a 5th level counterspell to guarantee blocking that pull spell. So that's why I'm putting in the spell levels, even though they're not leveled spells, they're not in the book or anything, it allows interactions with abilities that base themselves on the level of the spell. Right, I think that that all works on that one. I'll just say rogues dodging grenades dropped at their feet. You gotta remember, Andrew, it's more that rogues are finding a way to not suffer the ill effects of a grenade. The grenade goes off, the shrapnel might skitter over their cloak or whatever, but rogues have found a way to take cover in just the right way that they are unfazed by it. They may have been scraped, they may have even had blood drawn, but they're unfazed by it. Hit points is not amount of blood left in your body. Hit points is basically more your resolve. I think resolve is a better word than hit points in terms of how it works in games like D&D. When your resolve reaches 0, you're out of luck. You no longer have the ability to continue fighting. You are dying. But if you still have even a little bit of resolve left, you can keep going. You can hold on just a little bit longer. As opposed to 90% of your blood has fallen out, but you got a little bit left. Which it's just a video gaming concept. Some DMs will use the concept of only 2 true hits. So they'll say technically you only get hit for the first time when you reach half health, which in 4th edition was called bloodied, and then the second time when you die. 2 true hits. All the others are grazing things, glances, dodges that put you out of kilter or send you a little bit out of breath, just about getting out of the way in time. So they take off your resolve, your hit points, without hitting you. Hit points is such a gamified word, it's hard to appreciate sometimes. Hey Maxim Badge, saying sorry I'm late, just couldn't find the energy to get up. I know those days. But yeah, now it's all the same. Brother only saying, look at 5th ed rules. Having shock as second level is a godsend for wizards, who generally would only have 3d6 plus con hit points when face off against a vault. Godsend what? Sorry, Brother Only, I'm not quite following. Having shock as second level is a godsend for wizards? I don't see how it is. These spells are not things that players are going to access, so they just care about the incoming damage. And that doesn't matter then to the level of the spell. Anyway, So all the spellcasting and bits there are done. Actions. Previously we've got it as Mag is making 2 attacks, so that's going to be Volt. It's making however many attacks. And you know what? I think I'm going to give Volt again the short sword, because Excalibur is a long sword. Short sword just like with Mag. I'm going to give Volt a short bow rather than a kunai. Because again, I want them to be artillery. I want them to have a little bit more range right off the bat. So I'm going to give them a short bow. Brother is saying, as they can counterspell the shock rather than hope they don't get targeted and get one shot. So the way that it works is counterspell is an actual spell in 5th edition. It's a 3rd level spell, so you must use at least a 3rd level slot. In order to have counterspell, you must be at least level 5 in a full caster class, and it must have it on its class spells. So a level 3 wizard just can't counterspell. It's physically incapable of doing so. Anywho, right, so short sword, I shouldn't need to make any changes, so I didn't change the dexterity, so yep, that's all the same. 6 damage on a hit. I think that might actually be too low damage. Passive. I can bring in the passive. That's where this is where we make the passive work. Because I need more damage to make this artillery work. Shock Lapse, you one-shot most casters if they get hit by it before level 5. I mean, it's meant to be dangerous. It is meant to be dangerous. This is probably going to be a challenge rating 3 as I'm putting this together. No, it should still be challenge rating 2. It's tough to fight. It's going to be high damage, but it's easy to hit, is the idea here. 16 damage, I think. A wizard at level 1 will have 6 hit points plus the constitution. Let's say they have +1 constitution, so I have 7 hit points there. So at level 2, they'll gain another 4 + 1 for 5. That'll be on 12 hit points. The 16 average, that's going to hurt. That's really going to hurt. At level 3, however, it's much more manageable. But this is something they can just do once per fight. So this is kind of their opening screw you, and it's an easy save to make. DC 12 is easy to make. If a wizard has neither dexterity nor constitution, they are asking to die. Basically. They are asking to. So I think it should be okay. I mean, that's the idea. If you don't have defenses, you're meant to be scared by attacks. That's the idea. If the wizard isn't dying to it, it's not a threat. Currently we're going. Just question: why not a quarterstaff instead of a short sword? You know what? That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Let's mix up the weapons even further. Let's go with a quarterstaff. I like that because that means as well I can go slightly crazier on the damage bonus from the passive because this is going to deal less damage owing to the lower strength bonus. I like it. So melee weapon to attack. That's now only a +3. Reach 5 foot. 1 target. Quarterstaff. What is a quarterstaff's positive? Bam! I can just kind of Google these things. Isn't it lovely? It's 1d6 bludgeoning. Bludgeoning. It's going to be 1d6 +1, so this is going to be 4 now. Yikes, that's low. But that's the idea. That is the idea. Jason, shield won't help against this. Because it's a saving throw, so shield doesn't actually help. The spell gives you +5 AC. Fun fact. Alright, so quarterstaff melee weapon attack, +3 to hit, 1 target 4 damage, makes 2 attacks with its quarterstaff, or 2 attacks with its short bow. Short bow is +5 to hit, range 20-40, short bow actually is short bow. 83-20, there we go. That is a lot more range to work with. Range weapon attack, +5, 83-20, 1 target, that is now 1d6 +3 piercing damage, which means this is going to be 6. That line doesn't apply because it's a bow. And then let's bring in a passive. Let's bring in the passives. Passive, because it is non-spell, I'm going to put it up here to make that nice and clear. Oops. And what are we going to call this? What do we call this? One hit kill, want to get a bit of synth? Yeah, sure. Let me just switch that over whilst I remember how we're going to call this. Bam, synth. Static electricity seems a bit too charged movement. Feels a bit of a long phrasing, but you know what? We can go with it. Let's go with it. Charged movement. Let's go with that. Alright, so, charged movement. While moving... Yeah, while moving, I'm just going to say, while moving, Vault... Oops. Generates a static charge, which it can channel into its... I'm just going to say attacks for now. Which it can channel into its attacks. Because if I can add in other attacks elsewhere, I don't think there's any others that will be attacks. No, so it would just be weapon attacks, so that'll be fine. But Vault generates a static charge, which it can channel into its attacks. For every 5 foot Vault moves, the damage of its next successful attack is increased by... No. For every 5 foot Vault moves, yeah, let's say its static charge increases by 1 to a maximum of... Let's max it out at... A proficiency bonus, that way it scales automatically through the different variants. No, Joe, I said I want to put in a hard-coded number. I want to put in a hard-coded number because then I can scale it separately from proficiency. I get the attachment that 5e has to a proficiency. I think it's too clunky, frankly. Trying to tie as much as possible to a number that just goes up every 4 levels doesn't give the proper variety of design. It looks nice, but it's in the same way as saying, yeah, every Warframe gets a shield hit points multiple of 25. It's like, but why? Actually, it's more clunky than that. Every weapon gets a crit chance of a multiple of 5. Imagine that. So it's like, but what about a crit chance of 17%? Like, no, they're all multiples of 5 now. Brother only saying next attack this turn to help with bookkeeping, so you have to keep track of over different turns. I want to keep track of over different turns though, Brother Oni, because I want Vault to be something where the DM can have the character run on a turn, like leave away from the fight a bit. Next turn, it's then got the damage able to deliver. So I'm creating a number here. So while moving, Vault generates a static charge, which it can channel into its attacks. For every 5 foot Vault moves, its static charge increases by 1 to a maximum of... I'm going to say 10 for now. I think 10 is a safe figure. When Vault... Oops, capital. When Vault... hits with an attack... it deals extra electric damage equal to its static charge. The static charge is then reset to 0. There we go. I think that should be clear enough. So while moving, Vault generates a static charge which it can channel into its attacks. For every 5 feet Vault moves, its static charge increases by 1 to a maximum of 10. I should probably just call this static charge, actually. Just to make it clear, it's all one thing. Its static charge increase by 1 to a maximum of 10. When Vault hits with an attack, so not Saving throws, just attacks. When it hits with an attack, it deals extra electric damage equal to its static charge. The static charge is then reset to 0. I think that could work. Could this be an artillery character who wants to move around a bit? This is an artillery character, yeah. That's why I said going into Vault, because he's got speed abilities we're working towards. I'm giving a higher base speed. I'm giving lower armor class and hit points, lower constitution. We've got athletics as one of the 2 starting skills here for this low level 1. I've given him a short bow, but also a weak melee weapon. The idea is that this is a character that wants to keep moving. And as we build into that at higher and higher levels, it'll move even more. Because we'll have the speed ability next. And that players are going to hate that one. Players are absolutely going to hate that one. Exactly, Jason. Yeah, we'll be going along with that. One thing I did note in this, by the way, I put this in all the way at the start, I think. Casting time and Warframes. Just a quick reminder for anyone who's unaware, Warframes are powerful but still follow casting rules. They cannot cast a leveled spell as both an action and a bonus action on the same turn. And then notes DMs, mix up abilities with normal attacks. So with Vault here, we've got the action of Shock, and on the next Vault I'm going to be adding in a bonus action of Speed. They won't be able to do Speed and Shock on the same turn because they're 2 leveled spells. That's just against the rules. I know that monsters could break the rules. I make these specifically spells, let's stick with the spell rules. That helps to balance out the character, that the character can't do too much at once. But instead, it pushes the DM to using other things. Which I think works out. So yeah. So that gives us the damage bonus, and I think that flows quite nicely there. We've got the ability to bullet jump, we'll just put the numbers in. I'm doing that on every single one, just so the DM doesn't have to do the math. And also on the primes I can do a triple. Primes just get more bullet jumping because, you know what, screw the players, these things are dangerous. We got the static charge passive, we got the shock spell. It's a bit cumbersome writing, I don't like having it so long for such a low level spell. We'll roll with it. Got the spell casting, we've got the actions, the damage here. Say we run the full distance, so that's going to add on 7 damage. So we'll have 6 plus 7 for 13, plus another 6, that's 19. And our goal, as according to this, was to have about 20 damage on a single target every turn. You can see in this here, multi-target attacks do half the budgeted damage, but limited use multi-targets do 2 times. So limited use, which is shock here, we're aiming for about 20, slightly lower than 20, but this will likely target 2 characters. It can target more, but we go with 2 as the idea for balancing purposes. So it's a little bit on the weak side, but then it's got a rider on top, so actually it's kind of strong. So this puts the challenge rating of 3 for the attacks. It's got a plus 5 to hit, it's got the damage stat there. So that's its challenge rating here. Yeah, it's coming up on screen, isn't it? Yes, it is. Good, good. I forgot for a second. But then we've got the stats of hit points and AC only being challenge rating 2. But because that's bang on 2, you know what? I'm actually going to upgrade Vaults to challenge rating 3. Because for a level 2 party, this would actually be too tough. I'm saying it now. It would be too tough. I think that's 700 XP. I put that on Excalibur. Yeah, 700 XP. I did remember. Alright, cool. There we are. We have a Vault. We have a Vault. That gives us an initiate. That gives us most of our starting stuff. Okie dokie. Oh, you guys having a discussion on other bits. But we'll get to the other bits and pieces. We'll get to the other bits. Maximizing difficulty of Warframes go Initiate, Adept, Master. Yeah, Initiate, Adept, Master, and Prime. Because, you know, we got to make Prime fancy-wancy. We got to make it absolutely fancy-wancy. But the idea of Initiate, Adept, Master is simple terminology that both DM and players can understand. If they're up against Initiate, they go, okay, this one's not really a big deal. And if the party themselves are like level 1 or 2, and they come up against Mag, they're like, wait, this one's just an Initiate? Oh shit, how good do they get? Once you DM says, hey, this you identify this is a Mag Adept, they go, it's an Adept? Oh fuck. Okay, this one's more powerful than what we dealt with. They say it's a Master, he's like, shit. They say it's a prime. Wait, how big's a prime? It's the number 1. Oh. But that's the idea there. The terminology is something that non-Warframe players can understand and appreciate. Alright. That is a completed Vault Initiate. So, let's go on to doing now the Vault Adept. I'm going to copy and paste the Initiate one. Just give us the stuff over here. So this is going to be an Adept. I'm going to aim for roughly challenge rating 8. What I'm going to be doing actually, with the starter frames, I'm aiming for challenge rating 2 or 3 and then +5 per tier roughly. For the non-starter frames, I'm actually going to intentionally design them to be challenge ratings 4, 5, and 6 for their starters. So that by the time we get to the top end, they'll be challenge ratings 19, 20, 21. So they'll be really, really tough ones. I'm keeping the starters as the lower ones because they're literal starter frames. It makes sense for them to have weaker monsters, even though Vault is one of the most powerful frames in the game. Want to make the players themselves have seen this any rank close to the frame? Pretty much, although a challenge rating of a number you'd think would mean this is a boss for this level, but it's actually this creature on its own is a medium fight. It's a fight where, okay, you might spend a couple resources to make this fight go smoothly. A typical party of 4 level 3s should be able to kill 6 Vault Initiates 1 by 1 in a day. If there's more than 6 of them, or if they didn't come 1 by 1, then the party would definitely struggle. But 1 by 1, 6 Vault Initiates they'd take down in a day. A single day. But that's why I always suggest in the encounter building to give them at least something else with them. It's like I've got combined 1 Mag Initiate with 1 Wolf for a hard encounter. Mag will command the Wolf to attack adjacent enemies, even those who are not prone. I should probably make that a level... I should probably make that a level 3 to be honest. I'll leave it level 2. Level 2 is meant to be deadly anyway. Brother only saying rule of thumb in old editions was that equal CR would drain 25% daily resources. Yeah, challenge rating doesn't work like that in 5th edition. Just not at all. Challenge rating in 5th edition is... it's a mess, frankly. It's a mess. And part of that is because they didn't really create encounter math based on challenge rating in a sensible way. Like, this I'm using here for the idea of challenge rating for hit points and damage and whatnot is different to the one that's in the Dungeon Master's Guide, because the Dungeon Master Guide uses vastly different values which don't actually match up to the monsters you find in the monster manuals. The values in the Dungeon Master's Guide are honestly slightly incorrect. So that's why I'm using this instead as a easy reference guide, because that's where someone's gone and done the research, and I appreciate the research. I don't know how the DMG ended up so wrong, but it did. Anyway, onto these stats. We need to update the Vault Adept. First things first, Vault Adept, we're making it challenge rating 8. So challenge rating 8 is suggesting a 15 AC and 120 hit points. And you'll notice that it doesn't change between 7 and 8, because between challenge rating 7 and 8, there are actually basically no changes in the book. It's really weird. Very, very little changes here. The attack and DC go up by 1. It's odd. But what I'm going to do here, for challenge rating 8 as the aim, I'm going to take the AC down and the hit points down by just a little bit. So I'm going to go AC 14, hit points. I'll aim for about 100. Yeah, aim for about 100. That makes it quite a bit weaker, but that's where we want to be aiming at, roughly. Okay, hit kill. You get yourself some tea, Caleb. Kikoki, the XP I'll figure out... What is challenge rating 8? I have it on the Excalibur. 3900. There we go. And the proficiency bonus is going to be a +3 at this level. So let's figure out these stats. The speed, I want it to go up a bit because Volt is going to... base speed up? No, actually, not the base speed. Speed is in his ability. I'll stick it to just the ability. Yeah. The total stats here. Now, on both Mag and Excalibur, the Adept I've given a total +11. So I'm going to do the same with Volt here. So what I'm going to do is bring up this charisma, which is absolutely abysmal so far, to an 8. To bring this to a -1. And then I'm going to just increase other stats across the board here. So we've made that a 14 plus 2. Let's make that an 18 for a +4. Let's make that a 12 for a +1. Let's make that a 16 for a +3. Oops, that was the wrong button. +3. And we'll make this a 12 for a +1. Where does that put me so far? 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10. I need one more. You know what? Voltacaster. Let's put it on the intelligence. Just like I think I did with Mag. Let's bring that up to an 18. And for that matter, I'm going to make this a 19. It doesn't make any numerical difference, but it suggests that Volt is slightly more dexterous than intelligent. No numerical difference in the abilities, but just gives that indication. This is where his strong suit is at this tier. At the higher tiers, the intelligence will take over. It's caught up by 1 point, but it's still behind for now. So yeah, that gives me a total of +11, which is where I want it to be. We got Arcana and Athletics. What skill to add here for Volt? I'm going to go with Acrobatics. Sticking in with the whole speed, nimble, agile kind of things. Acrobatics, which is going to be a +7. Arcana is now also a +7, and Athletics is a +5. Alright, take a hit, kill. Catch you around. Passive Perception is now 11. We'll improve Perception in the next one, I think. The Bullet Jump has improved. That 8-foot vertical is now a 10-foot vertical. And the horizontal 14 is 28. Static Charge. I'm now going to increase the rate of gain and the cap to 2 and 20. We'll see in a moment if I need to change that figure, but I think 2 and 20 should work. Whilst the max is 20, it can still only generate 14 a turn normally. Normally, we'll see in a moment how that turns out. The Shock Spell, that I'm going to buff up. So, the DC... let's figure out the spell save DC actually first. Proficiency 3, Intelligence 4, that is 7 plus 8 is 15. That's how that works out. So that increases to DC 15. I'm not going to increase the range on this, but I am going to increase the damage. So the damage of a challenge 8. And we're going for artillery, so I'll go slightly higher. So we're on aim for about 45 on this. Which means that for 2 targets, for 1... Yeah, 45, and I want to do that to each target. So roughly 45 is where I'm aiming. 45 is... Isn't that... Oh. What would that divide into? Is that 9... No. What would we do? 90-10? Is it 90-10? Really 90-10? It feels high. Well, it is challenge rating 8. 90-10? Yeah, I think 90-10 is about that, yeah, isn't it? Average D10 is 5.5, yeah. 45 divided by 5.5. If we go 8d10, it gives us 44. That works. 8d10, 44. There we are. When we just do a bit of thinking, we all get there. It was a joint effort, Jason. 8d10, 44. That is one hell of an upgrade. I'm calling that a 4th level spell. Fund 4th. That is one hell of an upgrade. And its speed is reduced to 0 until the start of Volt's next turn. On a successful save, the creature takes half damage and its speed is unaffected. Boom, there we go. Simple action. Zap, 44. I'm still going to leave that at 1 per short rest. As much as I've gone with the others getting more uses of their basic spells, as I've upgraded them as well, I'm going to keep this one at 1 per short rest for now because I'm keeping it as a powerful one. On the later tiers, I won't upgrade it as much to allow it to be cast more often without being a problem. Am I doing this on a personal website? This is using a website known as the Home Brewery. It's homebrewery.naturalcrit.com, and that allows you to basically bring up Home Brewery to do these bits and pieces. It's a tool designed to allow you to create these bits and pieces. You won't be able to access this one though, because this isn't shared, so you just can't touch it. Alrighty. So that is the static charge and shock done. Don't need to do anything more there. So now we need to add in speed. System looks straight at power code HTML. I mean, it's using Markdown. It's not HTML, but Markdown. Right, speed. This is a spell, and it's going to be one bonus action. And with this bonus action, Volt energizes itself and nearby allies. Volt and allies within. Let's give it a short range for this level. Only 15 feet. Volt and allies within 15 feet have their speed increased by, let's say. Oh wait, no, we're giving them a bonus dash, weren't we? Volt and allies within 15 feet. Can dash as a bonus action. I should be saying for the duration. For the duration, Volt and allies within 15 feet can dash. No. Volt energizes itself and allies within 15 feet. And then for the duration, affected creatures. There we are, that's the way to do it. Yo! Gifting a sub there. Mr. or Mrs. or someone anonymous gifted a sub over to Zenova was taken. Thank you very much there. Whoever you are, I appreciate it. Zenova, enjoy your lovely new sub. And also you got your hydrate with it. Appreciate it. Cheers. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you very much. Alright, so Volt energizes itself and allies within 15 feet. Full stop. For the duration, affected creatures can dash as a bonus action. I want to say, yeah, can dash as a bonus action. I want to say Volt can also do it on the turn that he casts speed, but I'm going to phrase that. How would I phrase that? What uses bonus action to provide bonus action dash? That's the thing. I want the dash to be available on this turn as well, Dane. For Volt casting it. Make an action or dash as a reaction. No, definitely not dash as a reaction. Dashes are not reactions. Making it an action, the whole point of the bonus action is say it's a bonus action. How does the haste spell phrase this? I think haste only phrases it for itself, but I'm going to check the haste spell in the book. I don't want the haste spell. The haste spell has downsides that I don't want this to have. But let me see how they phrase it here. Because I'm sure it. Or does it give something there? Harm haste. The creature until it spends target speed is doubled, while haste just gives them more speed. There was something about. Oh wait, it was, no. Expeditious retreat. That's the spell I'm thinking of. I think. Expeditious retreat. This spell allows you to move at an incredible pace. When you cast this spell, and then as a bonus action on each of your turns until the spell ends, you can take the dash action. Right. when Vault casts this spell, and then wait, no. Yeah, when Vault casts his spell, and then as a bonus action, but Expeditious Retreat only applies to one target, you yourself. Yeah, when Vault casts his spell, and then as a bonus action on its turns for the duration, Vault may take the dash action. Affected creatures may also take the affected creatures may also take the dash action as a that should be capitalized bonus action on their turn. Would it be concentrated? Not for this one, no. I don't want to give this one concentration. No. No, I think for this artillery, I feel like having it concentration, first of all, it gives the DM yet another thing to track. They're already tracking static charge. Secondly, I feel like it would be too vulnerable to just losing everything, because it's affecting our allies as well. To have that so vulnerable to concentration, I think would just shut it down altogether. There's enough that can be difficult for Vault. I don't know if I wanted to get concentration for that. Kind of saying 4 on itself and affected creatures to trim the words. Also, Erento. Caleb, I'm not sure which bit you're referring to there. The thing is, we've got the verbiage here of when Vault cast this spell. So Vault is able to take a dash action as part of casting the spell. I want to avoid verbiage implying that everyone that's affected dashes when Vault casts the spell, because they're not dashing on someone else's turn. That just would be wrong. So that's why I'm doing it separately. When Vault casts a spell and there's a bonus action on its turns for the duration, Vault may take the dash action. Affected creatures may also take the dash action as a bonus action on their turn for the duration. It's just that clunky bit of allowing Vault to dash as part of casting the spell. Or Rainuva, you've only given part of a sentence there. You need to give the whole thing. That's what a couple of you are doing on this, is that it needs to be the whole thing. I'm not getting stuck on one phrase, I'm getting stuck on the whole lot. Because this isn't Expeditious Retreat, this isn't Haste, this isn't any other spell that exists. Those spells either target just the caster, and so it just says, you do this now and later, or it targets someone else who just does something later. This is caster now and caster later, other people later, not now. That's why there is more verbiage going in. Because otherwise, it would indicate that the affected creatures would be able to say, prepare remove, then Vault dashes them and then they move faster because they pre-dashed, and pre-readied and then dashed, which doesn't really work. So yeah, I think I need the verbiage on that one. Vault energizes itself and allies within 15 feet. When Vault casts this spell, and then as a bonus action on its turns for the duration, Vault may take the dash action. Affected creatures may also take the dash action as a bonus action on their turn for the duration. Yeah, I think that covers it. It's a bit... It feels weird repeating it, but it works it. It's one of those, like, if you look at a block of code And you're like, this is basically a copy-paste of another block of code, which you want to try and avoid. But then in this case, it's not actually copy-paste. There is a little bit of distinction that needs to be made just to make it clear for the DM so they don't get stuck on, wait, does this happen or will that happen? It's just one of those things. This spell lasts for, I'm just going to say 1 minute. Yeah, once per short rest, shock 4th level, and speed 4th level. It's a non-concentration, ally boosting and self-boosting spell, so 4th level. Higher than haste, I think, is fair. Because it doesn't give all the benefits of haste, but it has fewer drawbacks as haste has. So just simply, give him more speed. I'm not going to give anything like the attack speed buffs that you get from speed in Warframe, because that can lead to weirdness elsewhere. I just want this one to be a pure speed one, because of the potential interactions getting crazy otherwise. I'm saying random shower thought though, writing follows the same meta rules as writing a text. I don't follow, sorry. Okay. We've got the innate spellcasting, can cast these spells, shock and speed, those two work. Yep. I'm not sure what a text is, sorry. Okay, Lev, in this sense, T-E-K-S-T, unless that's a mixed spelling, I don't know what that is, sorry. Okay, multi-attack. Vault makes 2 attacks with a quarterstaff or 2 attacks with its short bow, so we can increase these. Vault makes 3 attacks with its quarterstaff or 3 attacks with its short bow. We'll just increase those. The pluses to hit have gone up, so quarterstaff is now +5, and the base damage is now 5. This is still a low damage option. Whereas a short bow, 4 + 3 is 7. The hit, that is a +4. So this is a base of 7. We got this static charge. Let's assume that Vault activates shock straight away. Let's assume they do. Not shock, speed. In doing so, they'll be able to run up 70 feet. By doing 70 feet, they will maximize this. They're going to be adding on 20 damage. So 3 attacks is going to be 41 damage. And our aim was about that. Yeah. Our aim is about that. So Vault has to move to get the full benefit. So the way to defeat Vault is to get right next to him. Vault doesn't have any way to prevent opportunity attacks here. Jason, you're very correct. It does mean that, yes. It does mean that Vault can move, get the full charge, attack, wait until they hit, and then continue moving. Absolutely, you're very right. That is terrifying. It's meant to be terrifying. Because also, even if they have to go attack, and on the 3rd attack they hit and land the damage, they can then continue moving to start building charge for their next turn, because it doesn't go away. At every stage, I want these Warframes to be terrifying. I want you to get to the level where you're fighting them, and then you go, oh shit, this is not a normal monster. It is balanced for my level, but Jesus, it's trying to make me scared. It forces you to think, how do we defeat this thing? Vault, one of the ways to defeat it is to get next to it, stop it from running around, knock it prone, waste its speed. Stop it from moving. If you stop Vault from moving, where does its damage go? But if Vault can still move, it's going to run circles around you and it's going to pep you with attacks which have bonus damage behind them that you really don't want to be dealing with. That's the idea. ADHD Near, welcome. Hello there. You strip him and you win the fight. I mean, that's part of the idea, Korokop. But also, because he's going to have a lot of speed, speed plus speed is going to be 70 foot. It'll take 35 to stand, but then he's still got 35 left to just go, bye! And that's a bonus action dash. If he needs more distance, he can still dash as an action as well. That's 105 foot of movement total. He can stand up and move 70 feet away from you. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? The normal average day fighter with 30 feet of movement can dash for 60 feet, still not catch up to Volt, and then Volt's just going to pepper them with shots as they back up. It's meant to be a challenge. It is absolutely meant to be a challenge. And let's switch over to the EDM there for you, ADHD. ADHD is a weird way of referencing someone's name, ADHD. I'm just going to call you Addy for now. I'm changing your nickname to Addy to make it easier for me to reference. Unless you tell me otherwise, that's what we're going for. Korokop saying hit him under the belt after you win. No, what you do, Korokop, is you grapple Volt. That's how you stop Volt from getting away from you. You grapple him. Or use something that restrains, or use something that slows, something like that, but mostly probably grapple. Because Volt Adept has their acrobatics though, they can get out of grapples reasonably well. They are prepared for that. But still, it should be a challenge. It should definitely be a challenge. If you can get in a lockdown Volt, easy days. If you don't get in a lockdown Volt, I am designing this to tell the DM, run circles around your players. Make them scared. Because then the players are going to feel even happier when they beat it. Or I can just call you Error. See, here's the problem, Error. My mind don't work like that. I don't hold down names. If someone changes their nickname between platforms or between moments, I can't hold the two together very well. I lose it. If you have a different name in-game and on Twitch chat, if you act slightly differently in Warframe 2 on Twitch chat, my mind just says, yeah, they're two different people. There is a slight difference in how this person is acting. They're two completely different people. Unless the name is the same, I lose it. It's part of why my nicknames have Ken in them. Because it helps me to understand when people are talking to me, because everyone ends up saying Ken eventually. As well as establishing a brand. But yeah, it keeps it all in one bubble. If you change your identity, I don't marry the two in my head. It's hard to keep track. It really is. You also got to remember, you're like one of 1,000 people, you know. There may be 28 watching right now, but that's people right here, right now. Anyway, major asides right there. Let's get on to the next Vault, because the Adept actually was really quick to put together. I feel like I've missed something. Let me check it all. Stats, we did all these. Hit points, that's not correct. I didn't do the hit points. I knew there was something I didn't do. We need to get this to 100, and we're using D8s. And it's a D8 plus 1. So that is an average of 5.5. We're aiming for 100. 100 divided by 5.5 is 18 point blah blah blah. 18 times 5.5 gives us 99. Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. So that's 18 D8 plus 18. Boom. Alright. So, armor class, good. Hit points, good. Speed, good. Stats, already checked them, they're all good. Skills, good. Perception, good. Language, always common. Challenge rating and proficiency, good. Bullet jump, I updated? Yep, I updated that. Static charge is good, max 20. Seems balanced, actually. Every 5 foot is 2. Run a maximum, normally, of 70 foot per turn, which is 14, so this will be 28 per turn maximum potential bonus, but it stacks to 20 on a single attack. That's fine. Shock have updated, speed has been created, innate spellcasting, DC is correct. Those have been buffed. 3 attacks, total damage, output. There's 3 attacks, 7, 21, plus potential 20/28. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, yep, there we are. Alright. That's how you make a Vault Adept. Easy peasy. Page. On to a new page. Let's copy in the Adept. Boom. on the new page. But this one, because we're going to be adding even more, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a double spread. Formatting magic. You gotta love it. Change your name to Engineera. Oh dear. Not Engineera. Engineera? Yeah, I think with the one E it would be Engineera. Whereas Engineera kind of sounds like, you know, more of a pun on Nero the Archon. Have I heard Varuna? I voted for Varuna. Alright, Vault Master. This is where things are gonna get a little bit spicy. Because I am going to have to try and do this correctly. So this is going to be a challenge rating 13 is the rough aim I'm going for here. Let's figure our way around that. So, challenge rating 13, we want the defenses to be slightly lower. So I'm going to go for armor class, only 16. Hit points, I'm actually going to bring the hit points down. I'm going to go for challenge rating 11 in terms of defenses here. I want them to feel fast but weak. Once you catch them, you hurt them. So yeah, I'm going to go for AC 16 and target of 165 hit points roughly. And we'll figure out what that comes to in a moment. Speed. I'm going to buff the speed at this point. I'm going to buff the speed to 40 base. Let's definitely put a little bit of fire behind that. New survival mission type on Lua? Fair do. I'll catch the dev stream stuff, well, later, obviously. I've been streaming right now. I'll catch the bits and pieces. I don't do videos about dev streams, so I'm safe to just catch it later. Right, let's buff up these stats. Now, according to my cheat sheet, I need to buff the stats by a total of +5 here. So, I think if I leave the charisma where it is and just do +1 on everything else, that'll be just fine. We'll make this a 16 for +3. We'll make this a 20 for +5. We'll make this a 14 for +2. Make this a 20 now for +5. And make this a... I'm going to make this a 15 to suggest the wisdom is a little bit further advanced, but it's still only a +2. Again, giving that suggestion of climbing more, it's overtaking the constitution. And then we'll leave the charisma at -1. All the Warframes I'm giving low charisma. Because they don't parlay, they don't do that kind of thing, they just kind of bleh. That made it over here saying front page was vibing out, saw D&D and Warframe, was like interested. Well, welcome on in, that is exactly what we're doing. I'm turning Warframes into D&D monsters. We've so far got Excalibur at 40 years of play, Mag at 40 years of play, and I'm working on the 3rd tier of Vault right now. Welcome on in. Just as a reminder as well, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, definitely consider following so you get a notification as when I go live, or if you're already following, consider subscribing, like Liv does every month already. Liv, welcome in, good evening to you, how you doing? Alright, skills. I wanted to add on perception at this tier, so let's add on the perception, and then we'll figure out what all these values come to now. The proficiency bonus should be higher. It starts at 2, and 5 goes up to 3, 9 it's 4, 13 it's 5. Yeah, it's +5 proficiency now. That's the aim, that's the game. So acrobatics is going to be a... Oh, that's a +10. Good luck grappling vault at a +10. Okay. Arcana is 10. Athletics is going to be an 8. And perception is going to be a +7 at this level. Which gives the passive perception jump from 11 to 17. Ooh, that vault is definitely a master. As DM, this is very interesting. Will there be a full PDF? There will indeed. There is already a PDF available for the initial works. That was Excalibur and Mag. So that is available over on my Discord. You can link to it there. I will be updating that later on with Vault. If I don't finish Vault this stream, I will be finishing off Vault later and then uploading that one as the next available PDF. I am looking for feedback from actual gameplay. So if you do have an active group, bring in these Warframes, test them out, see how they play. And especially if you, what do you call it? If you are the DM, I want to see if you can bring them in without letting on that they're Warframes. See if your players figure them out, unless they succeed on the stats here. If they do have a successful intelligence check, then yeah, give them the information. I have a section specifically on that because intelligence stats are not used enough in D&D. So make your players use them. DC 15, identify it's a Warframe, recall the Warframe features in the box above, this box here. DC 20, identify the specific Warframe, recall the spells or features it has, especially what saving throws that targets. And then DC 25 with proficiency in the skill, you choose if it's history or arcana, I'll leave it up to DMs. Recall the strengths and weaknesses in Warframe's ability scores and saving throws, and also know what level its abilities are cast at. So yeah, I've already got those coded in as well. So you can drop it into a game where people don't know what a Warframe is, and if their intelligence is high enough, their character knows what a Warframe is. But yeah, Brainhoover, cheers. Oh. Wanted to play D&D forever? D&D's a great game. Best with friends, though. Absolutely best with friends. You can have a good time with randoms, but a word of warning I will say. This goes out to everyone. A word of warning in terms of Dungeons & Dragons with random people is that whilst it's not always the case, it is skewed such that the kinds of people available for new random players to join in are more often, or more likely to be, I should say, more likely to be the kinds of people you don't want to play with. And there is a simple statistical reason for that. Say if I were to look for new players, if I was a good DM, and I am, but if I was running a good game and I was looking for new players, the new players would join and they would stay. By and large, that's what happened, job done. Which means a week later, more new players looking for games wouldn't be coming to me because I'm full. I've got my players. If, however, I was running a bad game, I would more frequently have players drop out, more frequently be looking for new people or starting whole new campaigns with whole new groups due to a lack of people sticking around. So statistically, random groups looking to recruit new random people are more likely to be poor experiences. Not always, but you just have to bear that in mind. Whereas with friends, you know your friends. You know if they're good people or not. You know if they're sensible. You know if they're level-headed. You know if you vibe with them. They'll be better players for a D&D group, usually speaking. That's why you start with your friends. But otherwise, try out random groups. Just be ready to leave if you find out that they're a grognard. Darkman saying more. My problem is more the schedules change. Oh yeah, good luck with that. There is no solution to schedules. There is no solution to schedules. He's saying, apparently have the equivalent of DC 25 with proficiency. Well, DC 25 with proficiency just means that you need proficiency in whatever skill, and proficiency is a decent length of study and professional training in that. You listen to me about Warframe, you spend hours playing Warframe. Of course you're proficient in Warframe. Of course you are. DC 25 is very hard. It would be very hard for you to recall... Shut up, phone. It would be very hard for you to recall the strengths and weaknesses of all the Warframes and of the levels I'm giving to their spells. Yeah, that would be very hard for you to remember. You could, but it's a toughie. So DC 25 makes perfect sense. Anywho. I need to continue on with this one. I'm going to get many distractions going, but let's get this cracking, shall we? So, we've done the stats. Yeah, I've done the stats across the board. Done that. Challenge rating. The XP for 13 I have on Excalibur. Excalibur Master, it's 10,000. There we go. Don't need to look up stuff when I can just look it up on my own document. The benefits of already doing stuff. Bullet jump. Twice the distance. The vertical is now 12 foot. And the horizontal is now 32 feet. There we go. D&D's turn-based. Just you'll move whenever you're free. Yeah, D&D's turn-based. Have we moved past the speed wording hiccup? Oh yeah, that's all been sorted. Maneuver. I've decided to just kind of leave it mostly where we got to, so it'll last for a minute. It didn't change. So bullet jump updated. Static charge. Let's upgrade that again. So that's now going to be 3 damage per 5 foot, or per square. The reason I'm doing 5 foot is because D&D battle maps usually use 5 feet squares, So if you move a square, you move 5 feet. So that's why I'm doing it 5 foot. For those of you who don't work in feet, honestly, D&D kind of seems to work best when you just stick with the feet. Stick with the system there. I think that continental European books translated into things like French and German and whatnot use meters, and they end up saying like 1.5 meters per square, and so your movements is however many meters that'd be. Just stick with the feet. Just stick with the feet. 3 feet is very roughly a meter, but not quite. Yeah, just stick with feet. It's easier. And I say that as someone who prefers using meters for most everything else. Anyway, that is 3 per 5 foot to a max of 30. Resets to 0 on hit. Let's see. Spell Shock. Now, this is where I want Shock to no longer get too much stronger. The DC is also now Int is 5, Proficiency 5, 5 to 10, 18. So let's add in 18 here as well. So yeah, I'm not going to increase the range on this at this time. I will increase the range on the Prime, but not on this one. The radius I will increase. Let's make that more dangerous. On the failed save though, the damage. Let's see what scale we want the damage to go to. Why do I have a notification? It is not a mod mail, so I can ignore that. So yeah, we're looking challenge rating 13 damage. I want it slightly higher. Actually, no, for this one now, I want it to be around this mark anyway. So per target, I'm aiming for around about 60. So, I think if we take this to... If I go 12, that'll be 66. So if I go 10d10, that should be 55. Which is a little bit lower than I'm aiming, but you know what? I think that's fine, because I want Shock to be castable more now. I want to give it a second cast. So I think that'll be fine. You want a 2035 yourself? I mean, it's up to you, really. It's up to you. Yeah, Ladybug, that's a good way of putting it. Feet in this case are more of a stat than an actual realistic measurement. That's a good way of looking at it. I mean, I still prefer how 4th edition used squares and just told you squares were 5 feet. So a spell would have a range of, say, 24 squares rather than 120 feet. That just worked. You can count squares. But I understand why they went back to feet, because people wanted to go back to, you know, Theatre of the Mind and whatnot, rather than battle maps, despite the fact that D&D is a combat system primarily. Whatever. Feet it is. Using a foreign unit enhances the fantasy feel. I mean, I'm fluent in both imperial and metric measurements, so it's not foreign to me, but I get what you mean. We use foreign words in a lot of stuff to make it sound interesting and mystical, or reference other people's cultures, like, say, when creating a wolf-type character, we call it Varuna, because Lithuanian legend. Anyway, Shock will increase the damage there to 10d10. Speed is reduced to 0 until the start of Vault's next turn. I think that's fine to leave that as is. Yeah, we don't need to do anything more with that. Just a little bit of an upgrade. So I'm going to make that Shock is now 5th level. But nothing more than that needs to happen. Looking around Discord trying to find the doc. So because D&D has been a recent addition, it's currently in the miscellaneous game section. So let me check. Have you joined on properly here? Let me check your name. Yep, you've got yourself the advanced user role. Good, good, good. So if you scroll down, you'll see miscellaneous games, the forum section, and Warframes as Dungeons & Dragons Monsters. That's what you're looking for on the Discord. That's got the old document from last week. You don't need to have access to the Supporter Tea Lounge. No, it is available to everyone. I can't make this available to just the Supporter Tea Lounge, even if I wanted to, because it's using Warframe stuff. That's their IP. I can't do that. If it was minor creations related to, I'd be okay too, but because I'm using so much of their IP here, including things like capture graphics, it's a fan work. So it's not Supporter Tea Lounge only. Yes, I have run all of this past Digital Extremes. I have the go-ahead basically to create this as I am doing so. Why else would I be streaming it? Of course, you know me. Of course I've done the checks to make sure if I have the go-ahead. Okay, so speed. I'm going to increase the radius of this significantly. For Challenge 13, I feel like Vault needs to be more threatening with their speed, so I'm going to increase the radius on that to 30 foot up from 15. Similar to how a Paladin Aura jumps from 10 feet to 30 as they get to a much higher level. So that should add it on there. And I'm going to allow 2 casts per short rest of both of these spells, because they can't be cast at the same time. It means then that if speed gets dispelled or counterspelled, the Vault can still try it again on another turn. They can still bring that around, so that makes them more dangerous. And that is again why I'm not making Shock as much stronger as it should be if it was keeping pace with the previous tiers. Alright, we've got our speed. Next up then is Electric Shield. Now this is going to be an interesting one to code. So it gets updated every week. It gets updated when I've done this, Dark Maiden. This is a very early project. Last stream, I took Excalibur from... We just had this stat block, and I had this. So this half of the page didn't exist. This graphic didn't exist. I just had those 2 bits in the very first bit. That was just my sample as an idea as to what I could create. Once I got the go-ahead from D saying, yeah, you're fine to do that kind of thing, and loads of people in the Discord voted for me to continue this, we did a stream where I added in these bits here, all the Excalibur stuff. Between streams, I added in that graphic, and I did all of Mag. I found some time to do that. I did all the Mag stuff. And then this stream, we're doing the Vault here. I don't know how long this project's going to go on for, because I have got, you know, my main streams, my main YouTube channel still to focus on. There is a Discord community and all that side of stuff there. There's my Patreon that I still keep up to date with all the bits and pieces going on that side. Definitely check that out, by the way. So this is yet another project separately. But yeah, I'll try and keep this going. As much as you guys show interest, as much as you guys show support for the channel, for myself to continue this, I'll keep it going. But that's only so long as there is sufficient support for it, really. Alright, Electric Shields. This is a spell. And I'm going to make this spell a action because of how powerful it is. I'm also going to give Vault some... this tier, I'm going to start using legendary actions. Notification? What Pingaroo? Alright. Oh, speaking a lot. Excuse me. That makes sense. I hope you do Rhino next. I can dabble and try and do some converted to help you if you like. I'm looking to keep this as a personal project. I'll be quite honest. I'm happy to take people's suggestions and ideas through the streams. Mostly I'm looking for feedback on what has been created. So if you run it through a game, or if you find bits that are clunky or difficult to try and set up around, I want feedback on that. Whereas this stuff that I'm creating going forwards, it's kind of my pet project. I'll be quite honest with you. It's my pet project. And as such, I'm trying to keep a hold on it. That's why I'm not doing any kind of big releases of these documents as I'm producing it, because I don't want a huge influx of interest in it whilst it's still in this early development stages. Certainly once it gets out of in development to a beta level document, that's when I'll be kind of blasting it out there and taking more generalized feedback. This is still very, very early stages. Alright then, so Electric Shield, spell 1 action, and it's just going to deploy it and keep it there, so that's fine. Vault creates a... No, creates is boring, come on. What? I need a better word than create. Vault is going to... Oops. Verb. Vault something. A shimmering wall of electrical energy. Generates? That sounds too mechanical. This is a spell. Manifest? Manifest! Andrew, I like that. That is a good one. Manifests. There you go. That's a nice word for this, yeah. That's a very spell word. So yes, Vault manifests a shimmering wall of electrical energy. Ionizes? Ionizes is, I would say, too scientific. This is magical electricity. So ionizes, I get where you're going, but it's a little bit too neo-technical rather than ancient magical. It's just the vibes of the words matter as much as the meaning of the words. It's kind of like how, as an interesting fact, if you think of the name Tiffany, you'll probably have heard of Tiffany's. You've heard of maybe even the shop Tiffany. You've maybe even encountered someone with the name Tiffany. But it probably invokes a kind of recent era vibe to it. The name Tiffany just feels very recent for most people. It doesn't seem like something that would fit in a work from pre-Shakespeare. Certainly, it wouldn't seem like something you'd expect to see in the 12th century, most people I'd imagine. And yet, it was indeed a name around in like the, I think it was 12th to 13th century. It was a common name at that time. As much as words can be correct, just like the name Tiffany could be correct for the era, the vibe doesn't match for the intended audience. So ionize, as much as it is correct for the kind of creation, we've got electrical energy, doing something strange in the air in front of you, it's too sciencey for a magical spell. And Volt is very much a kind of a speed mage I'm going for here. And dealing with fancy characters who want fancy words? Kinda. And it's understanding the kind of fantasy. Fantasy itself is a broad thing, but that's a whole other discussion, let me tell you. Well, not tell you, specifically. Anyway, Volt manifests a shimmering wall of electrical energy. I can put the stats into it right here. So that'll be shimmering wall of electrical energy. Let's say 15 feet wide and 10 feet tall, within 5 foot of himself, which I think fits. Renuva, you put inches, but otherwise yes. It's 1 dash for feet, 1 apostrophe. Excuse me. I had a rather large burger for the evening meal, so it's trying to come back up. Right, Volt manifests a shimmering wall of electrical energy 15 feet wide and 10 feet tall within 5 feet of itself. Not himself, itself. Itself. Chat, if I ever use a gendered term in any of this, please let me know straight away. Let me know. Yeah, Volt manifests a shimmering wall of electrical energy 15 feet wide and 10 feet tall within 5 feet of itself. Wall as a technical term suffices for explaining how it forms. We all have the idea of what a wall is, so that should do. It has no thickness to it because it is just a thin. So I should say a shimmering intangible wall? Also, no, not intangible. Well, it is, but it isn't. Shimmering thin. Just thin. Should it have curvature? We don't worry about the curvature, no. Like, if someone's going to create a curvature on it, I suppose that's okay, but... No, we're shaping it, we're saying how wide it is, it's just wide. Okay, Max Magic, maybe go to rules. Let me check. What's the rules on walls? Do I have to specify that it can't curve? What does it say in the PHB for spellcasting a wall? Where's the page? 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 Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh. I thought a wall was in the PHB. Apparently it's not. Was that a 4th edition thing? That might have been a 4th edition thing. Scheiße. Maybe it's in the DMG. Maybe if I search this one for wall, it will have information on how it rules it. Walls 102. Hey, look at that. It's in the index. Ja, Korokop. Es Deutsch. 102. That's mason walls. That's not magical walls. That's not what I needed. Damn it. Okay, because it's not an officially codified thing, I'm just going to leave it as wide and hope that people run it sensibly, because I don't want this to take up too much space trying to explain it has to stay flat, whatever. So yeah, I'll just leave stuff in. You put your headphones back on just in time to hear that. Well, we did raid a German stream the other day, so I think it's only fair. Anyway, please don't type German in the chat. I don't actually know much German. Veil could be a good descriptor. Yeah, if I just go for a Shimmering Veil. Shimmering Veil of electrical energy, because we don't need the wall technical term because it isn't one. Maximum badge, just no. Anyway, Shimmering Veil of electrical energy, 50 feet wide, 10 feet tall, within 5 feet of itself. Boom. The wall is impenetrable to ranged attacks made by range attacks and no, that's not it. The wall provides, I should say veil. No, shield. The shield, just fitting in with the name electric shield. The shield provides total cover against ranged attacks and spells with the origin on the other side. I think. Oh, I don't need to do that. Just range attacks and targeting spells. No, I'm going to also include radius ones because explosions are blocked. I should say just total cover against anything other than melee attacks, because that then covers ranged spell attacks, ranged weapon attacks, spells with a radius, because then you draw the, what's it called? You draw the line of effect from the origin, like with a sphere or a cube. It provides total cover against against attacks and spells other than melee weapon attacks. To rule out melee spell attacks. There we go. Because I think you can cast a ranged spell that does a melee spell attack. Like, I think Chill Touch does that? It might be melee, it might be ranged, I forget. Point is, I'm keeping it clear. So Shield provides total cover against attacks and spells other than melee weapon attacks. The reason I'm specifying attacks and spells is because it doesn't provide total cover from vision. It's not opaque. So yeah, a shimmering, transparent veil of electrical energy. There we go. That makes it clear you can see through it. You don't have line of effect, but you do have line of sight. However, it still provides total cover, even in the event of line of sight based spells, because they need to have line of effect to actually get there. Boom. Okay, cool. That gives us some working stuff there. Shield provides total cover against attacks and spells other than melee attacks. I should say, attacks and spells made by no. Yeah, attacks and spells other than Vault and its allies are not affected by the are not impeded by the cover. Not affected would suggest they don't get any benefit. Not impeded means they don't get the negatives, just the positives. Boom. So Vault and its allies are not impeded by the by this cover. I should say this. Yeah, that works. Okay. Attacks made by Vault and its ally, which pass through the shield. Deal. Will the prime shield have a damage boost? Nah, this is going to have a damage boost as well, not just a prime one. Deal, let me say... Because it's only attacks, but let's say... Because we're at here... This is a limited thing, but it's multi-target because it's multi-use. So let's add on... Just 20 damage, I think. But no. 20 is going to be too much. 10 damage. Because we're going to have multi-attacks, 10 damage. Deal an additional 10. I'm just going to do it at fixed 10. It's lightning, not electric. Lightning damage. Yeah, Korokop, 50 would be overwhelmingly good, because if you look here, for challenge rating 13 is our rough aim, which should be on average around 65 damage per turn, not counting weirdy schmeedy stuff. If Volt were to attack 3 times with the short bow, 50 damage would add on 150 in a turn, which would be far too much, no. Yeah, War Beast. I'm turning Warframes into D&D monsters. We've got Mag, we've got Excalibur, I'm doing Volt. Obviously, I'm starting with the starter frames, it makes sense. And I'm doing them where they have multiple tiers, War Beast, so it doesn't matter if you're in a low level, medium level, high level, or god level party. There is a Warframe to fight at every level of each type. That's what I'm working on. So, attacks made by Volt and its allies which pass through the shield. Yeah, that works. Just attacks. Deal an additional 10 lightning damage on hit. There we are. Give Volt Prime a 4,000 damage Cube of Heck. Cube of Heck don't exist here. It don't exist here. Righty. Oh, you know what? Electric Shield gives a critical damage bonus. I'm going to leave it off on the Volt Massive. Volt Prime, Electric Shield is going to deal some serious damage with crits. Or give serious benefits crits. What I'll do on that one is I'll make it where on crit, this whatever value just goes way high. But for just these ones, I'll leave it there. The crit damage buff I'll put on the Volt Prime. I mean, there's no shotguns in a fantasy world. I didn't say there's no shotguns. I said there's no Cube of Heck. Do we need to state that the electric shield doesn't movement through it? Well, that's not a sentence, but otherwise, doesn't stop movement, doesn't allow movement. Well, it's neither. It's a shimmering, transparent veil of electrical energy. It doesn't say that it blocks movement, so it doesn't block movement. Because you could just move through it. Enemies move through it. It doesn't block that. It blocks the attacks and spells. Wasn't there another company collaborating with D to make a tactical game? No idea, Warbeast, but D did approve of me making this, so that's fine. I specifically put together a sample, sent it into them, asked a whole bunch of questions around things related to IP, what I can use, what I can't use, every detail I needed to know, on top of what I already know with regards to their creator policies. Got the full information from them. I have the okays to make this, so I don't know what else anyone might be doing in terms of collaborations, but this is definitely good to go ahead. Maximage. If you want to put a Coup the Heck without the name into your own game's Maximage, you go right ahead. You go right ahead. Alright, that's the Electric Shield. Next spellcasting, 2 per short rest, we got those. 1 per short rest. Also, speed I improved. Let's make that 5th level. And then we have got Electric Shield. I'm going to call this 7th level. Honestly, it's quite powerful. Just fully blocking all ranged attacks on top of a damage boost. I'm going to call it 7th level. Will it incorporate Shock Shield or Transition Shield? No. So, casting Shock on the shield just won't be a thing for this. Likewise, Transition Shield, picking it up or anything like that, I don't feel the need to do here, I'll be honest. Actually, no, because Volt's supposed to be moving around. This shield is kind of... You got me there, Rainier, actually. Let me think on that, actually. Do we make it where Vault can pick this up and run with it? Because that's the problem of defining a wall or an angle. It's not often done. And there's also the terms of action economy, like, do they pick up as a bonus action? Because if you've got spell and the bonus action to pick it up, he's lost all of his turn. They move it with a legendary action. I think, yeah, oh yeah, of course, I should be using legendary actions at this tier. I didn't include any legendary actions on Mag and Excalibur, and they're all balanced for their levels now, so I'm leaving them where they are. But in reading stuff after I made those, I did realise, yeah, I should be using legendary actions on these big ones. So, you know what, it's right, you're right, I could look into that. Legendary action. So a legendary action is typically reserved for higher level monsters, certainly more boss tier monsters. It allows them to do something in between other players' turns. So Vault has his turn, he comes in, he goes zap, he swings with his sword, his quarterstaff, hits a couple people, he ends his turn. Then say the Paladin takes a turn, and at the end of the Paladin's turn, Vault jumps in and says, legendary action, I do this one small thing. So it's kind of like a miniature interrupting turn. This allows higher level monsters to break up the action economy, to break up the players' turns, to do more stuff reacting to the players, rather than monster does something and then player before the monster goes again. Legendary actions are very powerful things at higher tier monster levels to just really mess with your players. I also really messed with one of my groups and decided to give a challenge rating 3 monster some legendary actions. I moved it up from challenge 2 to challenge 3 by giving it a legendary action. Just one legendary action. It was enough to make them go, wait, what the fuck? It acted off its turn? Yeah. I'm even saying, and maybe they can move it whilst dashing, place it at their endpoint. Again, it feels weird. I don't know. They're limited cosmos, so most monsters which are designed with legendary actions just get 3 legendary actions. And of the list of different actions they could take as a legendary action, it might say, legendary action, Vault makes 1 attack with its quarterstaff. Legendary action, Vault makes 1 attack with its shortbow. Legendary action, Vault moves its speed, or up to its speed. And then legendary action takes 2 actions, Vault casts the speed spell. So it might be able to re-up that spell on after someone else's turn, but it costs them 2 legendary actions to do it. That kind of thing. They can only use 1 legendary action per interrupt, as it were. And they get a max of 3 uses between their turn and their next turn. I think I've explained that the most convoluted way around it could be, but I hope that got it across. So yeah, I would like Vault to be able to move the shield around. It's just thinking about the action economy of it. Do I just let him freely pick it up? Because I feel like item interaction kind of gets in the way there, but I could just say, yeah, you could just freely pick it up. Yeah, I'm going to say you can just freely pick it up and put it down. Sod it. It's not like it's going to create some kind of metagame super special capability. So you know what? I'm just going to let him freely move it. Vault can... Oh, I put a capital O. Vault can pick up, move, and place down the veil at will within... No. Vault can pick up and place down the veil within 5 feet at will while holding the veil. Its width is reduced to 5 foot. A free action sort of thing. You can just define stuff as at will, which is a free action. So Vault can pick up, well, at will itself doesn't mean free action, but at will without an action cost. If you don't state an action, it's at will. It's free. So yeah, the Vault can pick up and place down the veil within 5 feet of will. While holding the veil, its width is reduced to 5 foot. And Vault chooses which direction it is facing. Yep, facing. There we are. I think that should be clear enough. Is that clear enough, chat? So Vault can pick up and place down the veil at will within... place the veil down within 5 feet at will. While holding the veil, its width is reduced to 5 feet, and Vault chooses which direction it is facing. Vault can... I want to say it doesn't use a hand. Because it doesn't these days. Although, actually, that doesn't matter, because... yeah, I still want him to be able to use a short bow. And that's two-handed. Vault can... pick and place down the veil. Holding the veil does not require a free hand. Holding the veil is done magically and does not require a free hand. There we go. I think that clears it up. Concentration to hold the veil? Is that clunky, Rainuva? Is that getting clunky? I mean, I could make the electric shield itself concentration, because it's fully blocking an angle. If you hit Vault from a different angle, if you manage to hit Vault, maybe you should be rewarded for that with it risking concentration. Maybe this should be the concentration spell. Because I already said speed, I didn't want to be concentration, so this one could be the one. Because yeah, like Ladybug was saying, what when the concentration breaks? Put it down, or does the shield disappear altogether? If I make the actual spell concentration, then it's intended to block, so the concentration doesn't come up until Vault fails to put it in a smart location. If Vault allows himself to be exposed and hit, they risk losing their shield. There is the player counterplay against this very powerful, full impenetrable shield. I think that's a good pickup there. I haven't added any saves. I keep forgetting to add in saves. Saving throws, mag. Yeah, I should be adding one save per tier. Shit, I'll go back and do that in a moment. Excuse my language. I should have enough space on that page. Because yeah, I could give this one Constitution saving throw proficiency to allow it to be better at holding that, but still risky. You imagine it disappearing having to recast? Well, here's the thing, Cosmo. It's only got one cast of it. If the shield goes, it's gone. Because combat in Dungeons & Dragons is typically very quick in terms of the number of turns you get. The time at the table is long, but the number of turns is quick. So a typical fight will be over in around 3 to 4 turns per person. 3 to 4 rounds. So Vault was only going to get 3-4 turns, typically speaking. One of those turns is casting the shield. You can see how they're not going to have enough time to even recast, even if they could cast it. They'll be too busy going, shit. Run away! Kind of stupid fights ending in 30 seconds? Well, kinda not. Like, when you consider the energies being expended, it kind of makes sense. Have you ever been in a full-on fight? The fight, once the actual proper fighting happens, not people posing and like, oh yeah, taking little swings, just taunts and feints. When an actual clash happens, an actual proper fight, more than 30 seconds is honestly impressive. When people are going to really do someone in, yeah. It doesn't take long. Certainly when someone's throwing around electric shields and shit. Anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna make electric shield concentration. Spell, one action, concentration. There we go. That I think should wrap that one up. Speaking from experience in that I did martial arts for 7 years. Not hugely competitive, but good to get into at least regional competitions. Oh, a medal from Merrick Kidderminster for that. Well, they were the one handing out the medals, but yeah. So, yeah, I can tell you that fighting definitely does take it out of you once you're properly trying to engage. Takes a bit of going. You can recover quickly. Only takes a little bit to recover, but the actual full heat of it, you'll run out quick. Is also not something you can struggle off in 5 minutes? Oh, it is. So long as you've not been wounded, so long as your hit points have not been absolutely shattered, yeah, you can shake it off. Next encounter, you're good to go again. Takes a bit, you catch a breather, off you go. If you've been wounded, need to recover, that takes a bit longer. That would be a short rest in D&D 5e terms, which is why I liked the fact those encounter spells in 4th edition versus just short rest recharges in 5th, but yeah, it's fine. Stamina's not equal to hit points? No, stamina is not hit points. Hit points, as I said, like about an hour and a half ago now, but as I said earlier, hit points I consider more like resolve. Hit points is your resolve to continue being able to take on the challenges of the day and of the fights. It's when your resolve runs out that you can no longer protect yourself, because it only takes one hit to kill a person. Doesn't matter any situation ever, it only takes one hit to kill you. It just needs to be the wrong hit. Everything else is a scratch, is a blow, is a wound, is a dodge, a feint, a shunt. Something that whittles down your resolve. Getting kind of out of the idea of the Warframes for a moment. In the games that I run in Dungeons & Dragons, I depart from the books a bit in terms of how I run skill checks and encounters outside of combat, in that I will often put a hit point tax behind failures. We're saying Cosmo brings up points. Shield should be dropped later as a balance point. Let me just look at this first, and I'll go back to that point I was saying. Cosmo. Where is it? I imagine it disappearing after, which is stupid. Fights. Maybe just drop it for balance if you want it to still be able to use it later. Okay, I'm not sure I see the point you need to refer to that right either. I'm fine with the shield vanishing on concentration. Oh, I need to give it a duration. I forgot to do that. The spell lasts for 1 minute. 1 minute is basically just the length of a typical fight. That's 10 turns. If your fight goes more than 10 turns, you deserve to have spells running out. So as I say, yeah. Say, for example, if players are exploring a tomb, one of the things I might have is that they've come across some runes. They're trying to identify these runes and understand what it is they're up against. See if it's a trap or something. So the wizard does an Arcana check. Then you might think, just looking at runes, how can that hurt you? If you imagine hit points as hit points, and someone says, oh, you take 10 damage, you go, how did just looking at runes hurt me? DM, what are you on about? Instead, rephrasing it as resolve, so they rolled low, the wizard gets frustrated trying to identify the runes. They're racking their mind, keenly aware of the gravity of the situation if they get this wrong. After much thought and concentration, they eventually understand the nature of the runes, so you give them the success condition after all, but your resolve is harmed. Lose 10 hit points. Or whatever is a fair amount for whatever's going on. That way you can describe losing hit points even though they're not being hurt. Crown Ladybug saying, does that mean you also allow for alternative ways of HP recovery? Is it potions, healing spells? Well, there always is, because you can take short rest, long rest. That's healing anyway. Karakop with a hydrate. Cheers, Karakop. The other thing with that as well is that the whole point is it allows you to use non-combat encounters to drain hit points, because hit points is basically the only balancing factor in how many more fights you can go into. If a wizard had 10 million hit points, a wizard would never worry about the fact they have no spell slots left. They have 10 million hit points. What's going to happen to them? They can just go firebolt, 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 firebolt until the thing they're fighting dies. They've got 10 million hit points. What do they care about? Which demonstrates that hit points is the limiting factor. The other things they have, the other resources, protects against hit point loss, but aside from very few exceptions, hit points is what makes it. So by draining hit points, specifically hit points through non-combat situations, a DM doesn't have to run as many encounters, because even if they've got spell slots left, like a spell slot and they've got Fireball known, what good is that? Their hit points are almost gone anyway. It allows you to hurt them without hurting them. Cosmo's saying, what if the wizard only had 10 hit points left and die right there? That's the other caveat of how I run it. So, non-combat checks can never reduce you to 0 hit points. If you do not have the hit points to pass the check, so on a failed check, you get the pass plus the hit point damage, you instead just fail the check. And I leave it open to players sometimes that if they have the ability to choose, like if they have the ability to just give up on a task partway through, they can give up on the task and take the failure condition rather than the hit point loss. So that allows them to trade off there. But because they do that, that's now going to slow down the story for them. If they don't identify the runes, they don't know how to unlock the tomb. They don't know how to disable the trap, which could be far more dangerous. They don't find their way to the temple in time. So, you can just imagine the wizard's brain exploding. I mean, maybe in the Warhammer universe, yeah. Maybe in an Eldritch Horror kind of thing, but not typical D&D, no. Do you imagine that way? You've got a wizard, he's got 10 hit points left. He's been really having quite a day. And the party are like, please, Mr. Wizard, we need you to understand how this trap works. And they're trying to use their investigation. They're figuring it over, like, okay, let's see. Choose that. Choose the thingy here. Okay. And they roll to check. They decide, because they're low hit points, they know they need to pass this check. They don't know how much damage it's going to be, but they need to pass this check. And if the damage is too high, they just won't be allowed to pass if they won't get the pass if they roll too low. So that tells the wizard, use resources. So what the wizard does then is the wizard decides to use their inspiration, or they'll bring in some spell or something to assist them to boost their check higher, to boost their chances of a pass. Whereas if you don't have that, if it's just pass or fail, and the players know that you're not going to just leave them in the lurch, sometimes they'll just kind of roll checks and be like, yeah, whatever. Did I pass? Oh, I didn't pass. Oh, what do we have to do instead then? By making the players choices they can actually engage with, and seeing the numbers going down as they're failing, they feel more invested more often, and they feel that their failures are their own, rather than just, oh, the dice said no. Blind Guy saying, as a GM, I put non-combat HP loss down as 10 HP deducted or reduced to 1 if HP is above 1. HP is 1 reduced to 0. Now, if your HP is 1, your resolve is so low that any amount of failure is just going to put them off trying. If they could take damage, physical damage, if the encounter hits them back, then that's different. But if it's just resolve, then resolve can't be reduced to 0 hit points. If they were trying to scale a wall and they slipped, yeah, they're taking damage. If they were trying to get past the trap triggered and fired a bolt at them, yeah, that's doing damage. That's just damage. That will reduce you to 0. But if it's just like, trying to recall, what was that guy's name again? Fails the check. They could spend hit points to succeed. They're really racking their brain, and it distracts them. If you are a distracted person, if you've had such a bad day and everything just doesn't seem to be going your way, you're going to be less effective in a fight. Boom. Makes a difference between lethal and non-lethal? Kinda, yeah. Last point is to prevent players from negating any HP loss due to being 1 HP. That's the thing, though, is that, as I'm saying, if a player fails a check, they can either lose the hit points or they fail the check. If they pass, they just pass. So if they want the success condition, if they haven't got enough hit points, then they have to actually just pass the check. If they fail the check and they haven't got the hit points to spend to pass the check, and they don't know until the hit points are rolled, then they just fail. They do not pass go, they do not collect £200, as it were. That's the way I run the game. It means then even in social encounters, you can have a literal social fight. Two people arguing it out, trying to convince a crowd around them. You've got the evil, twisted mayor trying to rally the townsfolk against the party. And then you've got the party, the face of the party. They're rising up, they're pushing forwards. And their battle of wits being thrown out. And it is the party's hit points of those who are interacting. It's their resolve against the townsfolk. And it's bringing them down, bringing them down. That shit wears at you. It really does. Now, someone who's really charismatic, they're going to handle that. Someone who has just got a high constitution, as that just as a kind of a measure of they handle things. They are more well contained. They can get through stuff. They're not as loose-minded, loose-bodied. Do you imagine a literal social fight, an argument that actually drains hit points until it reaches the point you can no longer succeed and the other person wins? Or the other person, the mayor, realizes they're outgunned, they're losing face, and so they step back. They know they've got other stuff to attend to. They can't keep burning up their social graces if the party are just that good. So yeah, you can see how it could play out. You see how HP to resolve makes it something that you can utilize beyond just injuries. It's not all about nosebleeds and losing fingers and having your guts torn out. It is how much further can you go before the next thing takes you blindsided. I found it works well. Yeah, players when they're new to it, they're like, oh, why am I taking damage for a social check? You're like, shut up, you do. It's a game system, that's how. Because it's not damage, it's resolve. And then by the next session, they're used to it and they just go with it. Yeah, different systems will have different things, Brother Odie. This is designed, the way I'm running that, I'm saying that from a 5th edition perspective, it fits 5th edition. Hit points, how willing are you to take the next hit? It's more, are you still competent enough? Are you still flowing enough? Are you still connected enough to be able to sustain what comes next? Because it's always one hit that kills you. Every other hit doesn't kill you. It'll hurt you maybe. You'll need to have some R&R, get past it, get through it, have a nice bite to eat, have a good sleep, yada yada. It is one hit that kills, and it's the hit you didn't see coming. When your resolve is gone, the next one hits you. That's what it means. The next one hits you. I'm just saying, it also makes more sense that plate armor makes you harder to hit. Or than hard. I mean, that's armor class. But yeah. Anyway, I've not touched Vault for a while. I really went off on one there. We did the electric shield, got the spell. Minutes concentration. Yep, that's all done. We need to balance up these stats. That's where I was at. Need to balance up these stats. The +5 to hit on the quarterstaff, that is going up now. Quarterstaff is strength, that is +8 to hit. The damage is now 1d6 +3. So the basic damage there is now 6. Likewise on the short bow, that is now a +10 to hit. One target. Do I stick with a short bow? I'm gonna stick with a short bow just for. No, I'm gonna make this up to a longbow now. Longbow, which I think has a range of, I don't know. Longbow. Range of 150, 600 for 1d8. Because this is meant to be an artillery kind of character, we're going that much further. It's listed as just, yeah, that. One target hit is now 1d8 plus 5, which is an average of 9. There we go. Renee was saying, so for current shield versus transition shield, how about allowing the pickup to be dropped with any movement interrupt? Both shields being dispelled with concentration loss. Again, Radiant, I think that's adding in too much to the spell. Look how long this is already in the page. The DM has to be aware of spellcasting and action economy. They have to be aware of concentration. They have to be aware of the size of it and the placement of it. They have to be aware of the fact that it's total cover against things except for certain things. They have to be aware of the fact that it's going to be adding on damage to attacks. They consider that all the time. They now have to be aware that Volt can pick it up and puts it down all the time, and then it changes size. That's why I'm making it not need to worry about any hand holding or anything. And they're keeping track of the duration. There is a lot for them to consider there, Rainuva. I get the idea of wanting to add more, but again, less is more. Really is. In a game which is run by people, not computers, less is more. So this is the most complicated I want to make that for the Master. The Prime will have more damage, but that's just on a crit hit. So it'll just be an extra few words here. Imagine what Vorben's going to be like. Oh yeah, Vorben, thankfully, I can work around that. Vorben, I can work towards more like how a Beholder runs. But I'll get to that. It's going to be tough, but I'll get there. Alright then, so we got the basic damages here. Now, I don't want Volt to be making loads and loads and loads and loads of attacks per turn. So, I'm going to bring in bonus actions and legendary actions now, before I do much more else. So, here, bonus actions. Now, how is that listed in the book? I'm going to... wait, how did I put it from Mags? Yeah, I put it as Quick Strike. Yeah, I'll do that as well for Volt. So, those actions. Yep. We've got Quick Strike. Volt makes one attack with its quarter staff or longbow. And then I'm tempted, do I put dash here to remind the if speed is active, they can dash? I'm going to put that here for the DM's purpose. Yeah. Dash. If Volt has the speed spell... No. That's actually that's a waste of space. I shouldn't do that. Let's not do that there. We got the bonus action. Quick Strike just allows them to make an attack as a bonus action. So they've cast an action spell. They can then do a single attack. That works fine. I'll switch to legendary actions here. Legendary actions. Is that how it's put in the book? Does it just... It is just a new subsection, isn't it? Can't even begin to imagine explaining Limbo's whole ordeal within the confined system. Yeah, as Renium says, it'll be ethereal. Limbo will be ethereal. So, I'm going to check the phrasing in the book. I want to keep this to match into the books themselves. Let me see how the book phrases the text section. What we're going to do... Monster manual. I'm going to grab a dragon, because Warframes are similar to dragons. Legendary actions. Such and such can take 3 legendary actions, choosing from the options below. Only 1 legendary action can be used at a time. Only at the end of another creature's turn. Regain spent actions at the start of its turn. So all of that is put into that section. Yeah, I can do that. And then it puts the sections like so. Yeah, I can do that. Let me just compare to another creature with legendary actions. This is how you research stuff. You see what other people do, and then you do it, but better. Or differently, but better. Cool, yeah, I can do all that. Right, I've got this. I probably should have kept the wording, but whatever. No, I should keep the wording. Let me refine the wording. I want to get this one right. Where'd that thing go with legendary actions? There we go. Okay. The vault can take 3. Is it capital? No, it's not. Legendary actions. Oops. Choosing from the options below. Only one legendary action option can be used at a time. And only at the end of another creature's turn. Full stop. The vault regains spent legendary actions at the start of its turn. Cool. So that blurb I can just put into any other Warframe stuff thereafter. Okie dokie. I can put that away now. So, let's give Vault something majiggies they can do. Legendary actions. We'll have longbow. Vault makes 1 attack with its longbow. Because this is supposed to be a ranged artillery type, I'm not going to put the quarterstaff in, just the longbow is the option. For standard attacks. Let me see. Legendary actions. I don't want to call it dash. I want some movement here. Let's say... Not shift. Shift has a connotation for much slighter movements. Dodge is an action, so not that. How am I going to phrase this one? Sidestep. There we go. Sidestep. Vault moves half its speed. Boom. Adding into this character that keeps on moving and moving. Reposition. You know what? Reposition with the 4 syllables I feel is a little bit clunky for something that's meant to be just a quick bump. But it does give more of a... Yeah, reposition. You know what? Yeah, reposition. I like that. It's a better choice than sidestep, so good suggestion, Patafix. Good suggestion. And then I'm going to have as... speed, 2 actions. Vault cast the speed spell. That should be, I think, italicized. There we are. So this reinforces this Vault is going to run circles around you. So Vault can make a longbow attack, Vault can move half its speed, and for 2 actions, Vault can cast the speed spell. Sidestep exists with a 5 foot. Not in 5th edition, it doesn't, right? Even though. Not in 5th edition. I don't think it exists in 4th edition either. In 4th edition, it's called Shift for a single 5 foot movement without provoking opportunity, but that's not a thing here. I think this all works overall. I've not given Vault any special bonuses to dodge or disengage. It's all about dashing, so Vault allows things to get close, tough. But this makes it very difficult to trap Vault. You have to work to trap Vault. That's the idea here. You think of the trailer Vault. Think of trailer Vault, how they were just absolutely jogging through the field and everything else, even bullets, were just at a standstill. That's what it's going to feel like. Don't worry about it, Rainover. Knowing more systems just means, yeah, occasionally things leak over. Karokop, cheers. Also, take care, Karokop. Have a good one. Alright, now let me see on the damage stats here. How is this going to add up? That's where we've got to check now. 3 attacks on the turn. We've got longbow, longbow, longbow for 27. They're going to very frequently get this 30. In fact, they're probably going to get more than that. Their speed, 40 foot. They'll be able to generate, without any bonuses, 24 already. And then bonuses are going to be easy enough to get. So let's say easily that 30. 27 plus 30 is 57. Where are we at so far? 57. That's 60. Ooh. That might be too much. That might actually be too much. Although it is supposed to be low health, high damage. Ooh. No, I think it's safe to leave it at this. It feels like I'm pushing the damage a bit far, but at the same time, the electric shield only comes into play if Volt can actually get the electric shield to work. You hit the concentration, it's gone. So Volt loses, Volt and its allies, if it's got them close enough to the shield, loses that 10 damage per attack. The static charge only works up to a maximum of 30 damage on a single attack, which granted is a lot, but like it's up to that on a single hit. It actually needs to get to hitting in the first place. And then once it's spent, it's spent. If it's not able to move, if you lock down its movement, that just plummets. So a lot of Volt's damage here is high, but as soon as you start shutting him down, you shut him down hard. Compared to like Excalibur, where unless you've got a way to take his sword away from him, he's just going to be cutting up everyone until the sun sets. And then he'll keep cutting anyway. So I think as much as this is above the level I was kind of going for, it's at that level where you should be trying to counter it. If you don't counter it, he's going to hurt you. This is very much a counter and kill character. And I think that's a safe build. I want to say that's a safe build. Why does that say 10,900? And that's supposed to be just 10,000. Did I give legendary actions to Excalibur and Mag? No, Rainova. I remembered they existed, I'll be honest, after I put together Excalibur and Mag, and they're already balanced for their levels. So rather than rejigging the mathematics on those, I've kind of left them where they are. With Excalibur, Excalibur already has just a bajillion attacks. Like, you look at the Prime here, Excalibur Prime, Excalibur moves within blah, 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 blah. Does this up to 7 times. So with Slash Dash, Excalibur's making 7 attacks on a turn. Excalibur doesn't need more attacks. Even without Slash Dash, it's 6 attacks on a turn. Excalibur definitely does not need more attacks. So I've skipped out on it there. And then for Mag, with Mag, I'm focusing more on the spells and the fact that Magnetize can affect all of the enemies within the Magnetize bubble. I was happy to give Quick Strike, but any more than that I felt was risking Mag becoming just overwhelming at whatever level. So I forgot to put them in, but because I'd have to rejig a lot of the mathematics behind their balancing, or just change their challenge rating, I'm going to leave them where they are. It does mean that Volt has something that the other two don't have, and it's something I'll be incorporating into other Warframes, so those two will feel a little bit hamstrung, but at the same time they're starter frames, so I'm hand-waving it. Excalibur's bland, I'm hand-waving it. Yeah. It's a mistake, but it's one I can live with. I hope you guys can accept that. I really hope you can. What do I reckon would be the difficulty level I'm creating? So I'm creating Volt Mastery at challenge rating 13. For the starter frames, I'm aiming them for challenge rating roughly 3, 8, 13, 18 for tier 1, 2, 3, 4. for the other frames, as I work through them, the frames which are later game to acquire, I'll just make the challenge ratings 1, 2, and 3 higher. So I'll be starting at challenge ratings 4, 5, and 6, going all the way up to challenge rating 21 at the top end. The idea being there that the later game frames that we get in the game will just be slightly harder versions, just to kind of cover the fuller challenge rating spread of D&D. Just to give it a little bit more variety. The same happens with dragons. You've got some dragons are higher CR, some are lower CR. Despite the fact that dragons are dragons, there is that variation. So I feel safe in doing that as a design. Is Excalibur the only one getting recommended encounters? At the moment, I've got a recommended encounter for Mag here, but just the one of them, and Mag's been included in an Excalibur one here. I've not done any so far for Vault, because I noticed I'm actually very short on space, and I actually have some stats to add to those as well. So I might put some suggested encounters in this space here, because I have got some space left over. But I have to be careful about the space I'm using on the document as well. So I won't be including them for every single character, but for most of them, yeah. Raven saying, I guess the get out of jail free card of legendary actions works since he's mobility focused. Exactly, yeah. It's supposed to make it where he is really sprinting around, but with no disengage bonus thrown in there. If you catch him, he's fucked. Like, he might try disengaging, you just trip him up and go, nope, sit down. We knocked you prone, you're fucked. That kind of thing. Because with the movement at half speed, by the way, that's just enough to stand up. So you could definitely change some stuff there of your teammates. These should have full steps on the edge, don't they? Yeah, there we are. Can't wait to throw these at your players. Go for it. I would love to know how these go, to know how good my balancing is. If I need to change the challenge rating on anything, I will change it. If I need to change values on stuff, I will change it, but I need to know how it turns out first. I really need to know how it plays, because I'm doing this all theoretical, using guides that I have access to help me out on the numbers, and from my own experience as to how those kind of figures work out in actual gameplay. But nothing can prepare you for an actual game. The actual game is how it plays out. I want to know, is Mag too difficult to play? Is Vault too speedy? Is Excalibur underwhelming? That's what I need to know about. How does it actually feel? Let's see. What have I got to do still? So the damage stats are fine. I don't need to add anything to the damage stats there. All of that lot is fine. The hit points I need to recalculate. Or did I do that? No, I need to recalculate that. So 165 D8 plus 2 is an average of 6.5. So divide by 6.5, 25.38. So if I do 25 times that, almost works. What if I did 26? Let's go for 26. Yeah, that's cleaner. That is cleaner. So 26 D8 plus 52 gives us 169. Slightly higher than intended, but that works out. Yes, documents for these are Patreon? Nope. The documents for these are freely available. So, currently on the Discord at the moment, in the Miscellaneous Games forum, on the post about the Dungeons & Dragons Warframes to D&D monsters, you'll find a document that includes everything up to Mag Prime at the moment, and then we've been working on Vault today. I will release the document with the Vault stuff once I've done Vault Prime, which will be outside of stream. Thank you, Everbray. Thank you. And Wolven's cheers. So, if you guys do appreciate this stuff, if you want to see more of this, there is no guarantee it's going to continue. If you want to see more of it, tell me. Tell me very clearly. Show me that you're using it in the games. Show the engagement. Show that you love it. And I will do more of it. If, however, things just kind of die quietly, people just pick it up and go, thanks, bye. And that's it. I am going to put my focus into other stuff. If you see what I mean there. So where I see the support, where I see people actually want it, not just say they want it, that's where I'll put more in. If I don't have that, I will put my time elsewhere. What does 18d8 mean? So 18d8, that means, let's see, where is it? Let's just use the 10d10 here as a starting point. So the first number is number of dice. D stands for a type of die, and then the 10 is, it's a 10-sided dice. So this is saying here, when rolling the damage for this section, roll a 10-sided dice 10 times over and add up the result. Or roll 10 10-sided dice and add up the total you see on all of them. So the average of that roll is represented outside of the brackets. This allows a DM to just skip rolling the dice and say, you take 55 damage, and gives them the flat average. It also means that the DM has an idea as to what kind of damage to expect. So if they roll out the damage, they add it up and it comes to 12, but they see the average 55, they go, hang on, wait, did I do that right? And likewise, because they've got that expectation, they know if this is a powerful attack or a weak attack because they already see the average. So it's got multiple benefits of having the average right there. But yeah, 10 lots of a 10-sided dice added together. Up here, I've got 26d8 plus 52. So that means that if you were to roll out the hit points for this creature, you would roll an 8-sided dice 26 times. Most people use the average at that point. And then you add 52 to the result. The same is true on the quarterstaff here. You roll a 6-sided dice once, and you add 3 to the result. Ooh, blast. And you add 3 to the result. Now on a 6-sided dice, you know what a 6-sided dice is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, the average result on that is 3.5. We round that down to 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. There's your average. Simple as that. If this was 2d6, then the average on that would be 10. Because 3.5 times 2, 7, plus 3, 10. So that's how we figure it all out. Rain was saying, I think a fair test will be to ask players for a one-off combat blind to the Warframe, given the CR. Then again, knowing what they're up against for a full counter build. Potentially. Rainover, I have ideas for testing these more broadly, which is kind of similar to that, kind of not. But I don't want to talk about that yet because this is still very early days. Like I say, I don't want to do loads of planning and prep and putting loads into this to then have like 5 people go, hey! And that's the end of it. Because this does take a hell of a lot of time. Like, look at this. We're nearly 3 hours into this stream. Granted, with a lot of talking, we have not even done a full Warframe. Between streams, I managed to do mag, but that's in amongst everything else I'm doing. And you guys might have noticed there hasn't been a video yet. The video I've been working on is coming out tomorrow. Real life has also got in the way a bit this week, so it slowed down the production of the video. But as I say, all this stuff takes time. Not just writing it out, but also conceiving it. I've been thinking about the kind of ways to put together Vault before this stream. I haven't thought much about the other frames yet because Vault was the next one, so long way of saying there's a lot going on. I'll get to bits and pieces, but you are onto something that I'm not ready to talk about. Right, what haven't I done here? What needs to fix? Armor class is correct, hit points is now correct, speed is correct, stats are correct, skills, saves, saving throws, yes, right, mag, they're at the top, so I need to put them on the top. The way I'm doing the saves for each of these Warframes is that the Initiate gets no saving throws, the Adept gets 1 bonus, the Master gets 2, and the Prime gets 3 saving throw bonuses. If you see here on the Mag Prime, it's got Dexterity, Intelligence, and Charisma saving throw bonuses. Whereas on the Mag Adept, it's just got the Intelligence saving throw bonus, which is actually a terrible saving throw bonus to have, but you know, it's fine. So yeah, let's get these on these as well. So the Vault Adept. Now come on, Vault, sprinting everywhere, it's got to be Dexterity. It has got to be Dexterity for the saving throw. As powerful as that is, what else could I give him that would be more accurate, eh? So that is a Dex, which is going to be +7. You honestly think even D will like this? I'll see what they say. I have sent them some details about what's going on, so we'll see what they say on that. Okay, so yeah, Dex +7 there. Very simple math, it's just +4 +3. Don't need to think any much more about that. Vault Master, so they already have the Dexterity one. Saving throws. So the Dex, which is now +10, Jesus. What other one should I give them here? I want to give them a... Oh yeah, Constitution, yeah, for the concentration. Just because I hate the players. I'm going to give them Constitution. It's only a +7, but at the same time, it's a +7. Might be good to give him strength instead to match the athletics you need to run for that long. You know what? Actually, that's a good shout, Wolvens. That is a good shout. You're right. Let's make this strength con. Oops. Make this up here strength. You're very right, because then it's not as powerful. That is... Oh, God, I did it twice. That is far more balanced. You're right. Which, interestingly, will make Volt stronger against your typical knockdown abilities, as they tend to be strength saves. Oh well, deal with it. Yeah, no, that actually works. I like that. Mag Prime? What Mag Prime? So if I've got a party of 6 level 16 characters, which frame or frame should I throw at them? That'll be the primes. 6 level 16s is going to be a lot. I've only got... But yeah, Mag Prime and... What do you use to contest grapples? Athletics or acrobatics. Your character can pick. So, grappling someone, you use your athletics. The person being grappled can either athletics to get out or acrobatics to get out. They choose. But yeah, for 6 level 16s, let's go to Kobold Fight Club. Let's go to Kobold Fight Club. You got 6 level 16s. Let's see here. So a 18 and 7 challenge rating would only be considered medium, not even hard. Damn. What if I up this to 2 of these? That's hard. Only hard. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. In which case, yeah, you can send a squad. Zare. All right. In the fuller document then, Zare, what you can do is you can send them a Mag Prime, or any of the primes, but Mag Prime, Excalibur Prime, or Volt Prime when I put that one together, and then 2 Adepts. Because the Adepts challenge rating 8 or 7. Excalibur's 8. Mag, I think, came out to a 7. Because yeah, if I get a challenge rating 8 creature instead, how does that change the math here? Yeah, still hard, not quite deadly. Feels deadly, but not quite deadly. So yeah, that'll be fine. So if you have a Prime and 2 Adepts, that could be very interesting for a 6 level 16 characters. Because the 2 Adepts they're not going to be devastating. But you see, even with Mag as an Adept, we'll have access to the Magnetize spell once per short rest, as well as a couple pulls. And then there's just the attacks in general to kind of pepper them with stuff. That's going to throw in a bit of stuff for them to deal with. The Excalibur Adept, it's got a blinding ability to throw in there. On top of the slash dashes for general movement. Because that slash dash, that can help them get to the back line and mess them up. And then you got a Prime just going... Oh, that could be interesting. You're doing a one-shot where you're throwing a purple dragon at them? Want them to enjoy the characters? It's going to follow up with these Warframes? Absolutely go for it, Zed. I want to hear about that. I absolutely want to get the lowdown on how that goes. The other thing is you might be able to try a full squad of 4 masters, but I don't have 4 types of Warframes yet, so that might be a bit boring. Almost a squad of Tenos? I mean, it feels like a squad. You got the Prime followed by their 2 henchmen? Yeah, that's straight up a boss fight. Prime and 2 henchmen. Especially with the challenge rating 8 feeling on there, putting it to feels deadly. That, I would love to know how that goes down. I would really love to know how that goes down. One thing to note with these Warframes, all 3 of the Warframes I've designed here do not have legendary resistance. All 3 of them do not have legendary resistance, and that is intentional. Because I'm holding on to legendary resistance for the Warframes which can become completely status and damage immune. I feel like that's going to be the place where legendary resistance would come into play to simply go, nope, you can't touch this shit. So I'll be translating it out of their abilities into legendary resistance there. Lavos, well, Lavos is one that gets status immunity, yeah. So Lavos is one that would get legendary resistance built in. I would do it with things like Rhino, Revenant, Nezha, Valkyr, those kinds of ones. I'm going to make Revenant in D&D. If there's enough support for it, I will make them all. You guys should give the support for it, I keep going. If it turns out everyone goes, oh, this is cool, and then I stop streaming and everyone forgets it exists, I stop doing it. That's. I know that might sound a little bit blunt. I know a lot of people kind of like to hedge their bets and talk about things in more happy terms. I'm not going to do that with you guys. I'm not in the mood to do that. I'm telling you right up. If there is a hell of a load of support, you guys show, yeah, we want this, keep going, I'll do it. And so far, so good. So I'm going to do it. Right, Vaultmaster, what have I missed? I've done the saves now. He's got 2 saves, he's got 4 skills, so that's all correct. The stats we did. Perception's good. That's done. Bullet jump I did. Static charge has been upgraded, and I did the spell level. Yep. Oh no, it's passive. Shotgun did spell level. And that's all been updated. Speed has been updated to 30-foot range. Yep. Electric shield we argued over and figured it out. Multi-attack, we did the mathematics, it adds up. Definitely don't want to melee as much as range. Quick strike, legendary actions. Yeah, that's a completed vault. That's completed vault. What does in-game mean for Music Redeem? Oh, that's when we're playing a game. So if I was doing Stardew Valley, Warframe, Subnautica, that's when it'd be in-game. But obviously, Chrome doesn't have in-game music. It's not here. It doesn't apply this time. As they're saying, love the video on Lavos for me, by the way. Is the build and it's still accurate? I always save the question from actual Warframe stream. No, questions are fine for anything here. With regards to the Lavos build, it is still accurate. It still works as is. There is, however, a couple changes. That build is an inefficient one in that it literally skips efficiency. However, after that video was put out, DE changed the base values for Transmutation Probe, and efficiency now matters more, quite a bit more. So if you check out, let me find you the link. There is a video I did which has an updated build. Let me find that for you real quick. Let me find that one for you real quick. Here we go. Here's the one. Here's one. Copy link address. And Crown Ladybug found it. Alright, never mind. Crown Ladybug found it. Alright. That's the link. Perfect. Ladybug, you're amazing. You're absolutely amazing. So yeah, Lord Chibi, check out the link that just popped up there in the chat. That's the one with the updated Lavos build. That Lavos build I still use to this day because it just works. It just works. Also, by the way, YouTube has updated the layout. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. It happened very recently. The videos tab, first of all, it's now 4 wide rather than 6 wide. It's got these rounded corners. But the more important bit, shorts are separate now. They put the shorts away in their own drawer. It's not just a pile of stuff in uploads. So don't hold me to this, but I'm probably going to start doing some more shorts now that they will no longer playing this page and will instead have their own page. Yeah, I've heard about the handle sync. I've already got a handle. That's already been done. If I did live streams on YouTube as well, there'll be live section here, but I haven't needed to or wanted to do live streams there so far. It's worked out to do it here, obviously, with you guys right now. But yeah, so I'm probably going to look to adding shorts into my routine. I don't know exactly when because, well, personal difficulties in trying to fit everything together. But yeah, I'll probably do that. Anyway, I'm aware of the fact that I definitely do not have time to do a Vault Prime right now. So I'm going to put together some suggested encounters. Let's do some suggested encounters here. Oh yeah, and reset the recommendations and have to go through and hide channels I previously hit. Oh, it reset recommendations? Oh, damn. Yeah, I see some channels pop up from time to time. It's like, oh my god, look at this thumbnail. YouTube, no. I do not need to see Johnny Shitstain reacts to the latest SpongeBob film. I don't care. I really don't. Might be worth just using shorts to stream highlights. Not really, Wolvens, no, because do you go through the shorts reel, Wolvens? And actually, I'm saying this to everyone. There's loads of you here right now. How many of you guys actually go through the shorts reel on YouTube? I would bring it up, but DMCAs will happen, so let's not do that. I do watch a modest amount of shorts. Not huge amounts, but I do watch a modest amount of them. Certainly from creators that use the shorts format as shorts. So there is a couple Minecraft creators that I follow through the shorts videos they do. I think Canman is one of them. Yeah, Canman. They design stuff for their shorts. He does some stuff which kind of comes from his streams as well, but mostly not. There is a cartoonist who animates their cartoons into shorts. There are a couple comedy skits I'll follow on to there. But then there are others that are in the feed that I scroll past like, please go away. That are, for example, cuts from their streams, and it just feels jank. Or you have to create the stream to fit the moment, or they're going for, haha, funny moments. I'm not a haha funny moment guy. Let's be honest now. Have you ever sat through a stream and gone, oh yeah, that clip, that is the perfect 60 seconds to cut into vertical rather than horizontal and shove onto YouTube? I'm not a haha funny moments, create content for the bit kind of person. I'm an educator. My channel is an education channel. So, my streams don't really feel right to cut into shorts. It's why I've not even tried cutting them into highlights onto YouTube. Streams are for the streams, videos are for the videos, shorts are for the shorts. My content doesn't translate between those three types, whereas a more comedy style person definitely does. A more comedy focused one which can have individual bits and then compilation bits. Oops, shit. Hit my microphone. And then a live stream of bits interspersed with downtime. Works for them, but not for me. And the VSync bug we found? Maybe. But again, you gotta... how do I phrase that? I'm saying, honestly, I think shorts may be good for you with your bug crackers, then to turn around into bug reports. No. Shorts doesn't just mean it's a 1 minute long vertical video, or up to 1 minute long vertical video. It's also a 1 minute long vertical video on my YouTube channel. And that is a distinction because it's not going out to bug crackers, it's going out to everyone. And I want every single time someone watches a short on the channel, that person either has learned about Warframe and goes, oh, that's curious, and wants to know more, or they already know Warframe, they go, oh shit, thank you, I learned something. If I haven't done one of those two things, I've probably failed as a short. Like this one here, 66,000 views, how to unlock the 4 Nama track in your orbiter, is quite literally a short guide on that. And someone goes through the short reel, they see that, like, oh yeah, this guy helped out on Warframe. Subscribe, teach me more. And then they get recommended other guides on Warframe. If I put down a bug report video, someone's going to come across that like, fuck's this trash. So yeah. I see what the idea of breaking down mini videos on bug report stuff, but it just doesn't fit the channel. Absolutely doesn't. Which means as well, if one of you guys listening right now is wondering, hey, how could I start off my channel? There you go. Do shorts on Warframe bugs. I've just created your channel for you. Go ahead and do it. You won't get competition from me. Go ahead and create a shorts channel about Warframe bugs. Who knows, you may become bigger than me. Look forward to meeting you in the Warframe Creator Discord. Shorts have to appeal to a lot of people if it's too niche people to scroll. YouTube is actually smart in that it will pick up the kinds of people who interact and create a video profile. That's how things go viral, because it creates a video identity from how people interact with it. Shorts are great for channel exposure. That's part of the idea, yeah. That is part of the idea. Everybody saying, I can see my team already crying tears because Rhino refreshed his Iron Skin the second time. Oh, right, yeah, the Warframe, D&D. Raven saying, yeah, I avoid all shorts because on mobile they're obstructive and they don't like landscape mode, broadly speaking. Yeah, shorts are literally designed for portrait mode, not landscape. Straight up designed for it. Scared to see Anaris in D&D? Yeah, he'd be a thing, wouldn't he? He would definitely be a thing. Although, at the same time, Anaris has a lot of hit points, but he has no shields. So, I would probably just give him a really low armor class. So you could hit him and 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 hit him. But then he just hasn't gone down. You're like, but we've hit him 50,000 times. Why is he not dead yet? That's probably the way I go in RS. I'd also give him a passive if we can't gain temporary hit points, because that is something I do with Mag. I've turned shields into temporary hit points. It makes sense, so I just did it. Okay, Crush. Mag channels fierce energies into nearby enemies, collects blah 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 blah. Additionally, on cast, Mag and its allies within 60 feet gain 5 temporary hit points for each creature damaged. Boom. Shields are temporary hit points. They regenerate from shield regenerating abilities, but also you can't take them so far because you can't just keep stacking temporary hit points, much like you have an overshield cap. Bam. Shields in D&D. Just like that. Just like that. Anyway, yeah. Necros straight to reviving your fallen level 18 barbarian. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? He soul punches him. Up he stands. But yeah, all the Warframes are meant to be terrors. The skill on my side is balancing, so it still keeps to the challenge rating. Because at the end of the day, the players are supposed to win. One thing you gotta remember, the players are supposed to win, the Warframes are supposed to lose, but only if the players play correctly. Zare, cheers. You lunched up, gotta get back to work? Alright, you take care then, Zare. Actually, my time is also pretty much up here, isn't it? Ah, yeah, we ain't got time to do the suggested encounters. I've spoken too much about other random stuff. Oops. Oops. Yeah. This isn't complete for the vault section, so off stream I will add in some suggested encounters and I'll add in a vault prime. I'll also need to get a captura shot to put that in. I'll absolutely need to do that. And then once that's all done, I will upload the fuller document with the full vault section onto the Discord. I'll replace the existing document with the new one. But yeah, that is unfortunately where we're going to have to wrap it up, because otherwise the rest of the people in this house is going to start to get angry at me, and we can't be having that now. Cannot be having that. But guys, gals, and everyone of any other persuasion, if you have been enjoying this stream, make sure you are on the Supporter Tea Lounge if you are a supporter, to vote next week if you want to see more of this one, or if you want to see something different, you can also vote for something different. How many people voted on what? Let me bring up the Supporter Tea Lounge real quick. Supporter Tea Lounge. Bop, bop, bop. We just go to the poll somewhere up here. Where was it? There it was. So yeah, this week we had the options here of Apex Legends, Stardew Valley, Team Fortress, Minecraft, designing D&D monsters, and Rocket League. And yeah, there were votes elsewhere. There were votes elsewhere. You could listen to me talking about DMing forever. I mean, if Warframe ever actually dies, I might do that as a channel. D&D 7th edition. The Engineer gives you everything you need to know about that. Who's to say? Oh, get on the screen. Thank you. But yeah, that is unfortunately all that we've got time for. So if you're not on the Supporter Tea Lounge and you want access to that, make sure you're subscribed and connect up your Twitch and Discord accounts. Or you can support me through Patreon or YouTube, and then you get access to the Tea Lounge as well. Any of them works. This week was the biggest on we've seen vote-wise. It was, yeah. Normally the votes are like 2, 1, 3 votes between first and second place. This week just blap. That just absolutely went one way, didn't it, on that vote? Doesn't normally go that way. Individual votes really, really do matter there. Anyway, I think we're going to have to wrap it up. I want to continue, but out of fairness and agreements with those I live with, I can't. So you guys will just have to look to next time. You just have to look to next time. But thank you very much for joining in. Cosmo, thank you for the final hydrate. Oh, Wolvens. Oh,
finally got around to subscribing.
You legend.
Apologies for taking this long.
I mean, when you say finally, you're on to 3 months, apparently. We'll ignore there might have been gifts. You're on to 3 months. Wolvens, thank you very, very much for the 3 months subscription. Enjoy your lovely silver badge, you ledge. Absolutely appreciate it. Cheers, my dude. Inspiration to you in your next D&D session. You can tell your DM from me, I gave it to you. You're allowed it. Alright, we definitely have to go. I'll catch you guys in the next one on Sunday. It's going to be some more Warframe. We're going to love it. Until then, have a good one. Bye.